Everybody, I'm going to be your DM for this afternoon's game. My name is Sean. You can find me on Twitter at NoTweetSean. Let's introduce our players. Let's start with Jacob.
All right, awesome. Sure. My name is Jacob, Duval King Jacob on the Twitters and the Instagrams. Very excited to be here. I am playing a Duval. I mean, of course, I had to do it. It may or may not have been prompted. I'm not going to lie. I'm playing. I'm very excited to be playing a total life cleric by the name of Weldorn. So, super excited to hang out with y'all.
Easy turtle.
Well, I'm excited. This is my first Duval game.
Yeah.
I have like so much expectation now.
Oh no!
The pressure.
No pressure at all. No.
Only a little. Only a little.
I
just
feel
a
like
bit.
people have been telling stories about you.
Yes. Yes.
Your legend precedes you.
Oh.
Dak, go ahead.
Hi, like you said, I am Dak. You can find me on the Twitters under Daquine Game Army, and I will be playing a Fire Ganassi by the name of Piper Wildfire. Hi.
You didn't tell us about our story. Hello. We're twins.
Yes, we're like twins. We come from like same family.
Yeah,
We're like
it's not like we are twins. We are twins.
It's similar.
It kind of happens.
Yep. And
Well, let's introduce the twin.
Yes.
All
So
right.
I am also a Genasi, and I named my character Natasha, but without a last name to leave it mysterious since it's so last minute. Stay tuned to find out what the last name will be.
Hashtag last minute mysterious.
Say my name. It's Heisenberg.
Yeah. No.
Perfect name. I love the name.
Yes. Heisenberg.
I'm curious, what classes are you two playing?
Natasha Heisenberg.
I am playing a rogue. I'm very roguish.
Because
Yes.
we are twins, I am also a rogue.
Oh no, double rogue. I need to make encounter harder. And the levels of the monsters are increasing.
Yeah, you need to. There's going to be a lot of stabby.
Good to know. Cyrus, go ahead.
Hello, I am the incomparable Cyrus Truth. You can find me on the Twitter at TheCyrusT, and today I will be playing Grand Rock, the nearly 7-foot tall Dragonborn Vengeance Paladin.
Wow.
Like it. And last but not
Deadly.
least, Mike.
It's Mike at Silent Chariot on anywhere. I'll be playing the Warforged Wild Magic Sorcerer.
What's his name?
Oh, Spike.
Spike. All right. I like it.
Ooh.
Okay, let's set the scene now
Does
that
Spike have
everyone's
spiky hair?
introduced.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry,
I like a
Sean.
warforged with hair. Let's try to figure
It's so
that out.
rare
Just
nowadays.
don't ask where he got it from.
It like falls off the sun.
All right, to set the scene, there has been a war in the northwestern province of Diamond. You are arriving as a specialist team that has been called individually with mysterious letters from the Senate themselves, the Senate of Gods. Now, the gods are resident in this world. They are all over the place. You see them here and there, but to be in their presence is a great honor, and to be called upon them an even greater one. Now, you have been brought to a meeting with Colonel Harvin. You are taken along the battlements of Fort Micah, which looks more like a castle than a fort. It's long been established, been rebuilt multiple times. You can see that there's multiple sections built out of different kinds of stone, but it's very, very large, very vast. You're taken along the battlements to meet this colonel to discuss your top secret mission. You're brought into a small room. The door is closed behind you. Those who have escorted you are very large half-orcs. They don't look like they're playing around. but they immediately leave the room as soon as the door is closed. In the middle of the room is a desk. It's a large stone room. Everything in it is gray flagstone. There's not a whole lot in here. It seems like maybe it was just recently put together. But in the middle is a desk, and sitting at it is a burgundy, gray-haired tiefling woman who is wearing a full uniform. She has square-filed horns that point forward and down right over her eyes. And she turns in her chair to you and says, I suppose you're the ones I'm supposed to deal with.
I assume that means you're the commander here.
I'm pretty sure we're the ones dealing with you.
Yes.
She stands up, comes over to each one of you, looks you up and down, surveys you, walks around behind you, comes back around to the front. I thought you'd all be taller or something.
I mean, they do look better from behind, just saying.
I suppose that you're not very familiar with the race of turtles. You must not have seen my kind around here very often.
I'm not paid to be familiar with anything about you, and neither do I care to be. I'm simply here to deliver the Senate's message.
All
It would
right.
seem they don't want any military involvement in this, which is beyond me why, but I'm not one to question the Senate's decisions. You've been placed on a mission. According to the Senate, you are here to cross the Valley of Stones and infiltrate the Wall of Giants. As you all most likely know, we've been in a war with them for roughly 50 years. It's been ongoing, non-stop. They've been relentless. We've been attempting attacks on the wall here and again, but most of them had ended in ruin. About 10 days ago, all of the hail of stones, all of the attacks stopped. Everything stopped. There was no activity on their wall. We don't know what to make of it. We were planning to potentially ambush them. But the Senate intervened, and they called up you lot. I don't know why, but like I said, I'm not one to question. Simply here to give you what you need, send you on your way. Are you in need of any weaponry before we start on what you're going to be doing?
I take and put on the table. It's this large makeshift wooden staff that actually has tied to the end of it a large blade, so kind of like a makeshift spear. I believe I'll do just fine with what I have on my own, if you don't mind.
Very well.
I mean,
Well-
a bazooka is nice this time of year. Just saying, it matches my own.
It's like, what is a bazooka? Where do you learn these words?
I know all the words. Don't question me.
Well, if you can carry a ballista on your back, I'll give you one.
Oh. Challenge accepted. Oh, this is good.
I will draw the big great sword out from my back, and it glows just a little bit. And I just kind of hold out in front of me. Unless you got something that can hit harder than this, I think I'm more or less all right. If you have any plate mail, I wouldn't mind taking that off of your hands either.
We have plenty of plate mail to spare.
Well, that's friggin' excellent.
Well,
Perhaps you
You'll
should
be
fitted
lead
for
us
it.
to the shop.
I just stand up. Well, if you're giving it away, I suppose I should oblige as well.
You see, like she snaps her fingers, and two gnomes come out and start measuring different areas, and they're like, okay, yeah,
Make sure you leave a little area around the chest. It gets a little tight there, you know.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. I don't have a small wingspan.
Planning on using a large spell? What's going on with that? I don't know.
Yeah, hey, you never freaking know.
That's right.
And they
don't.
take off and just kind of giggle to themselves. What about you? You, Warforged, you don't seem to be carrying any weapons.
No, I don't need any weapons for how I fight.
How
A
intriguing.
caster.
So
I
fancy.
see. Good. They'll be in need of you.
Hmm.
The giants are very well read in the ways of magic.
Speaking
they
of
well
that, what kind of
Though I wouldn't also say no to armor, any armor or shields as well.
I've known your kind to use shields, but I'd gladly give you some leather armor. You'll need to be able to move. They'll need you to be quick.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. You're to go from here to the bunkers. From the bunkers, you will be let through by Major Brandiuk. Take this seal with you, and she hands you a small signet. If you don't have that, he won't let you out, and you won't be able to do anything at all except stay here and look at me. I don't want to stare at you any longer than I have to.
Believe me, it is mutable.
Well, you're not exactly a looker yourself.
Oh, I like it. This is so nasty.
Once you pass from the bunkers, you'll go to the adamantine shield wall. There will be no one there to help you. However, there is a map here. She hands you a piece of paper for whoever wants it.
I wanted the map.
She hands the map to the road.
Thank you.
That will direct you to the door. There is a very small opening to get out of the wall. Once you're past the wall, the map will lead you nowhere else. It is a full map of our compound, however, so if you need to find something, you'll be able to find it. Once you're in the Valley of Stones, you're on your own. However, I do have 3 bits of advice for you. 1, avoid holes. 2, watch your step. That battlefield has had tons and tons of things buried underneath it, and many of them are dangerous. And finally, number 3. Oh, stay low. Stay quiet. Don't get killed.
That I think I can do.
as I clink my new plate armor.
Is there anything we're allowed to do on this mission? Stay high, stay low, stay invisible.
I do have a bit of a counterpoint, if you don't mind, and a bit of a query after that. First of all, I feel like 1 and 2 kind of go together, so I feel like we have an option for an additional number 3, 1. And 2, could you tell us a bit more, and maybe this would fit number 3, a bit more about these giants, especially if they are of the magical persuasion?
Well, we've encountered multiple different types. Their favorite weapons are thrown weapons from their wall. However, you are to get inside. We haven't had too many close encounters with them. However, they are, as you'd imagine, very large. They're very strong. They're not fast. So if you can get around them and dodge them in melee combat, you can get to a soft spot.
I do believe that moving fast is my specialty.
You wish.
You'll need speed. There are fire giants. There are frost giants. There are stone giants and hill giants. There are giants that cast lightning from their hands.
Well, just call me Goldilocks.
So if you have any elemental defenses, you may want to activate them now.
So we're missing is the color green giants.
I don't think they'd be here. I figured they'd always be the jolly variety, but that's neither here nor there.
See, I thought that was an old wives' tale that I heard some many moons ago.
Yeah,
This
usually
supposedly
fine
the
hanging
biggest-
out. All
Eat
right,
this
so
much.
so just to reiterate, you want us to go talk to this major who will tell us where we need to go from there, and then we go to this wall and figure out why the giants have stopped throwing rocks and stuff at you.
Exactly. It's a reconnaissance mission. Once you come back, the Senate will greet you. They'll want all the information. They don't want us involved. And that's the end of
Alright.
our
All
interaction.
right. All right. Anything to help with the clinky clink?
What?
I thought you meant my typing, and I was like, oh my goodness. Just
I
stopped.
think what my friend is saying that you want us to be stealthy, and myself and my new turtle friend here are not particularly quiet, especially since we like the heavier armors.
Yeah. Thus the clinky clink. That's the sound. I mean, I'm saying it, but it's also happening. So I don't really know why you're misunderstanding my point.
Are you asking to be made more stealthy?
Yes,
If you can, that would be most delightful.
with great size comes great sound.
Very well. Buffer them. She looks at the two gnomes, and they take like they get like a large basket. It's full of like very small bits of folded leather, and you see them. They start like gluing it in between the joints of your armor, and they're literally climbing all the way up you and around you, just not paying any mind to any sort of like privacy at all. They're all up in all parts of you. It's like,
Hey, be careful down there near McGrundle.
I believe we should have had a conversation about this before you got all in the little bits. But all right.
I don't think we can rightly complain too terribly much. We're getting this for free.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
They work quickly.
All right. Well, I can't really think of anything else we need. I wasn't expecting to get, stealth plate armor today, but this is great.
Yeah.
I feel like since we're dealing with the elements, we should be prepared. I mean, I have fire resistance, but wouldn't do well with other things.
What other kind of resistances do we even need? We're fast.
Well, I was
I have a
talking
few.
to our friends, in quotes.
Do you have any potions for elemental resistance?
I do not.
Good question.
But that is
You'll
a
have to
great-
ask Major Brandiuk.
Oh, no, next person.
All right.
Down the line.
That seems simple enough.
I picture us all being on like a conveyor belt, and it just moves down to the next person. So they can get the next thing. Armor. Okay, next.
It's like being in E's house in The Incredibles.
Oh my God, she's totally that chick. Oh my Lord.
Now I can't get the image out of my head now.
That's all. That's exactly who she is. No.
Goodbye, darling. No.
I remember, no capes.
Yeah. No cloaks of elven kind. All right.
No cloaks.
I suppose this is where we say our goodbyes then.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a pleasure.
I wish I could say the same.
You might say that. That's exactly why I said what I said, because it makes me look that much better. And I leave.
As I leave, Sean, can I just do a quick insight check to try to get an idea of if this is just coming from exasperation or something else?
Yeah, go ahead.
That's a 6.
So I'll go ahead and tell you just because it's written on her face. And based on what she's told you, you can glean that she's used to being in control of the situation and being respected. People, she tells people what to do. She's in control of like information. And this is totally not the case in this mission. She's literally like being subverted by authorities higher than her to do something that has nothing to do with her. And she is being left in the dark. And that is making her angry.
Understandable.
Well,
I just
has
nod my head and follow my new turtle friend out the door.
follow my turtle.
But then now,
Well, does anybody know about giants? What is their weakness? I've never really encountered one.
Giants really don't have one.
Okay.
They're kind of big. They're big, strong, and they could do different stuff depending on what kind of giant they are.
Maybe
But
some
that's-
mind games.
If you want to try that, you're more than welcome to.
I feel like that's probably not the best approach. Did you bring the rope this time?
Like, kind of look back and I think, feel around. Yep,
All right.
I have it.
Last time you didn't bring the rope.
Well, 'cause that was your job.
Don't blame me for your lack of rope.
Mm-hmm.
I feel satisfied with my rope.
feel like there's a bit of a story there, but we'll have to ask. I'll talk about that. We'll have to ask about that on the way.
I feel like I should have better weapon. My rapier not going to do very well on the giants.
Yeah.
And I don't
Yeah.
have many spells.
Well, not if you poke them in the right places.
You can use your
It's
rapier,
true.
but I feel like I should have better weapon. And since these are
Why-
free, why not?
I feel like you had a pretty good opportunity to ask, considering.
I did, and then
what-
I thought about it. Everybody gets the shiny except for me. It might be a long game if I do not have something in particular to stab him with it.
As soon as I left the room, I start crouching down and start looking for any holes because that's what we were told to do.
That's fantastic.
Well done. We're listening, everyone.
Your half-orc escorts just kind of look at you like, what is he doing? I don't know.
Come to be too safe.
Just keep walking. They take you along the battlements, down a set of stone stairs, and across a courtyard. The courtyard is full of like a couple of like merchants, some officers. You don't really see many soldiers here. But when you go through the doors, the path dug out ahead of you is covered in like sandbags, and it's dug into the earth. It's probably about 2 feet deep, and the path just leads in a straight line all the way down to some large like steel buildings,
Okay.
slightly rusted in the distance. And along this path, you see lots of tieflings, orcs, halflings, humans, elves, all like mixed together around small campfires. They look very dirty. They're all wearing their uniforms. They're very like their uniforms are very kept, but they're very dirty. If that makes sense. Like they're in order, but they're very dirty. And they're all just kind of sitting, like drinking some coffee or tea or something. You're not sure, but they're all just kind of looking miserable. And they all kind of look at you all in your like clean new armor as you pass, and they just kind of like
I have
glare
no
at
shiny.
you.
No shiny. I am but the pleb like you.
And but
As we're making our way, excuse me, wouldn't mind. Hope you don't mind if I ask, how's the tea around here?
it's wet.
Oh well, I believe that would be the preference, indeed. Yes,
You want
but
some?
is there a?
I kind of want a solid
I'd
tea.
love some.
Uh,
I would love some.
I've got a little bit, but you can give you got to give the cup back. It's like a short green
Give the cup
tiefling.
back. That's hilarious.
Oh no, that's fine. I brought my own.
No, it's fine.
Actually-
It's good.
Do they look cold at all? Or
Yes,
fire going?
they do. The weather right now actually is pretty cool. It's probably, if I were put in Fahrenheit, probably like low, like maybe 50 degrees.
Okay.
No wonder why it's so cold.
If there's like a small pit or something, I can start a fire for them.
Oh, they're already around fires.
Okay.
They're good. Yeah, they're good. But yeah, good idea. He hands you the tea. It's nice. It's hot. You're not sure what kind of tea.
I just picture it being really small and tiny in your hands. It's hilarious.
Yeah, I just see the.
I ask what tea is. What is tea?
Oh, it's a good question.
Well,
What is tea? Where does it come from?
are you familiar with leaves?
Yes.
Well, there you go.
Steeping.
That is the proper terminology. You see, from where I'm from, I've actually have a small tea shop. A bit of a connoisseur in my travels.
Get out of here with your tea leaves.
In that case, the profile of this tea.
Oh no.
So this is definitely a black tea, strongly brewed with some corn flour.
Oh my god.
There's a bit of blue corn flour in it, and maybe some lemon zest. Whoever made this tea knew what they were doing.
Ooh.
Definitely like their flavors.
I'll start drinking the tea because that's what everybody else is doing.
Okay, do you ask for some or do you just go get some?
No.
No, I'll just go get some.
Oh
Just go
no.
get some? Okay. Well, I guess you all can have some. That's
No, I will pass. Thank
fine.
you.
Oh
I
no.
don't-
I had
I
a
don't know
very
if I have
bad
enough
tea accident.
cups. A tea.
Tell you what.
accident. What?
When we come back, I'll share with you some of my wild berry.
Oh,
we call
really
it
now?
we call it zinger from where I'm from.
Zig zing.
Zinger. All right. Okay. That is, if you make it back. You mind giving me a sample? You know, I may never taste it.
You just pull out some random tea.
Actually, I have like a small satchel, and it's not exactly in bags because of, we're in keeping with the times, but steep that for a while and make sure to filter it 3 times at least. Then you'll be fine. Enjoy.
Nancy, what does he think we're doing around here? He takes it, you see him put it in a little capsule.
As we're walking off from that, I just kind of looked at everybody. Are any of you all just kind of concerned a little bit that everybody seems to think we're walking into our doom?
Well, we could be, but that's what makes this so fun.
I welcome
That's
death.
the spirit.
If you say so.
Nothing gets the heart racing like
Death.
potentially dying.
Well said.
You have a point.
Nothing except for potentially dying.
You're
You
not
keep working
wrong.
on the words.
It's just the whole thing trying to kill you bit that's causing the heart race, and that's more my concern.
Yeah, nothing like a little adrenaline rush.
All right. As you kind of come upon the bunkers, there is a large steel door guarded by a dwarf holding a spear.
I approach the dwarf with the spear and I say, "We're here to see the major. The commander sent us here."
Right. You got
I hold up the-
identification.
I hold up the signet.
All right. He bing, 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 bangs on the door with his spear. Door
It's so
opens
loud.
up.
Best sound effect ever.
It's like home improvement.
Like
Thank you for bringing my childhood back.
Yes,
Colonel.
Yeah,
I'm so glad
yes.
everyone's old enough
That's
to know what
great.
that is. I was afraid.
That was great.
It was
That
one of
was
those risky
amazing.
jokes you don't know if anyone will know.
You never know. You gotta take your shot.
Do you get
Shoot your
this
shot.
reference?
Exactly.
Well done.
So when the doors open, it's very dimly lit in there. There's definitely no torches or sources of like artificial sources of light. You just see a slit ahead of sunlight.
Okay.
You go
All
in.
right. Yeah, I'm
Well,
going in. That's
As
what we were told to do.
I shall stay in the back in the darkness. What happens? And
Go right
I
on
am
ahead.
one with the darkness.
All right.
I'm sorry, she's a little emo.
I'm sorry. What?
You are emo. You like the
I
darkness.
do like the darkness, but emo is so last year.
Gothic.
It's better. We'll work on it.
All right.
My life is a dark room.
I
Dark.
am but the dark void.
No. All right. So as you clamber in this dimly lit area, again, you see like many different soldiers. You see large ballistae that are like
Yes.
right with the slit, like flush with it. 2 to 3 man teams. There's about 4 of them. This is one big long room. It's probably about if I were to put dimensions on it, about like 30 feet wide or long, like deep, and at least 100 foot to your left.
Hmm.
All right.
Well, I want to
You
touch
see
the ballista.
multiple ballista teams. I'm starting to take up Natasha's like ballista teams. You said the
I'm among my
Boys,
people.
Lutz and Squirrel.
So you see these teams, and then between them, kind of scattered about, there are like small alcoves with circular windows on them where you see a caster standing.
All right.
At the very end, you see like a bright glowing area. It's a little faint from here. All the soldiers just kind of like look back at you like, who are these guys?
I
I want-
approach one of the soldiers and I say, we're here to see the major.
Yes, you distract them. I want to
Oh,
touch the
yeah, he's
ballista.
down there.
Can I make ballista go?
Oh, jeez. What are you doing? No, do not touch the things.
Stop talking and help me make the ballista go.
Oh, are you touching the ballista?
Yes. While he
roll-
distracts him, I touch it.
Roll stuff.
Oh,
My
God.
first roll, everyone. I'm so excited. Oh God, what do I have?
First roll.
Stealth? Wait a minute.
What are my stats? Do I have a character sheet?
Do I
Am I
have
playing D&D?
Oh, I am very stealthy. You do not know where this 18. Oof.
All right.
Oh my goodness.
Right as you put your hand on it, a human grabs your hand and it's like, don't touch my unit.
How much do I have to pay you to touch your unit?
It just looks at you like,
Did we
You
really
are
just go
on
there?
fire. You're on fire.
I really want to play with Ballista. Oh.
get out of here.
Dang.
Innuendo.
I just look at my twin. Why couldn't you help? Just one time. You could have helped.
Just don't touch things.
You know how ballistas how I feel about them.
Just I just grab you like let's go. Let's just come on.
Whatever.
I head in the direction that the soldier pointed me towards to go find the major.
Yep. He's like, fuck, go. I'm sorry, you were talking to the orc. You just go to the right. Your left.
That was a
That
big
way.
difference.
I'm just gonna go to the direction you pointed me towards. All right.
Yeah, look,
Let's-
that one.
don't worry about
Right.
left or right. Yeah,
There's a light.
I'm good.
There's a light down there.
All right, I'll go towards that then. Thank you. And then I go.
If you need some tea, I'm happy to oblige and provide. Looks like you've got a bit of a...
Sounds like he's like Kermit with bronchitis or something.
Have you ever seen a talking turtle before?
I have. It's me.
I wasn't talking to you. I don't know. But
Um,
hey, you ever seen it? Yeah, I've seen one before. They're not that great. Would you focus? God, they could show up any minute.
Meanwhile,
Right,
I
right, sorry.
picture like Piper just dragging me off by one arm, and I'm just like on the floor being dragged behind them because I'm sort of sad about what has happened.
Touch the
just as a response to that, I'm just gonna say, I'm just gonna pray for you. And I just won't get by.
The nice way of insulting somebody who insulted you.
Love it. Very in character. Oh my gosh. Okay. So as you guys head past all these, everyone looks at you like you feel very out of place. Everyone again, dirty, grimy, like everything's ordered, but it's just so dirty. You can tell these guys have been here for a while. You see along the wall, there's like some basic setups of like tables, some very small like put out fires where you can see like they've been cooking something. You see wasted like cans of stuff that are stacked up. As you approach this lighted area, you notice it's like this large circle glowing. It's got lots of like little bits of writing on it, and there's symbols on it, and there's a man sitting or standing in the middle of it. He's got like some rusty hair. He looks pretty weathered. He's wearing this look on his face. He doesn't look like he has any hope or like he's ever been amused by anything.
He has no hope. Oh my gosh. That's how I feel right now. Oh, that's how I feel right now. Yes.
And he's just kind of like standing in the middle of the circle, looking bored.
Excuse me. You the major?
That's me. Who are you?
We're the individuals that were hired to go take a look at your giant issue or lack thereof. We're the ones who were sent here to go to the wall and figure out what the heck's going on.
Right. You got the signet?
I hold it up.
All right. When you leave here, you'll address me as sir. All right. Self-respecting civilians. Let me get you started. And he claps his hands together, pulls at his fingertips, and you see this light emit from it. And the symbols on the circle start spinning. He goes, all right, get in the circle.
All right.
Would I be able to tell if this is like a teleportation circle? Or something?
Roll Arcana.
Okay. Oh, no, I wouldn't.
That's fantastic.
As a sorcerer, you more do things by feel than by knowledge. So, you're like,
All right.
Yeah, he asks you to get in the circle.
I'll step into the circle.
As will I.
I guess we're getting right to the main event then. All right then.
I watched that everybody else is going into the circle first, and then I follow.
I see him kind of. Sorry, go ahead.
I like that the mechanical man is letting the flashbacks take the thing.
New definition of meat shield.
Right.
I see Spike hesitate for just a split second. Come on, big man.
I'm gonna put like 1 foot in the circle and then pull it back out. And then put 1 foot in the circle and pull it back out because I don't know how to like this.
We're not playing the hokey pokey. Get in here.
I need to turn it all about first. My point is that I don't know if it's safe.
Can you believe I'm related to this?
As you say, standing in the circle.
Oh.
Unfortunate.
Well done.
Well, congratulations.
How
I
do I
feel
know
sorry for
this
her.
is safe? Can I do a check to see if it's safe? A safety check.
A safety check? Sure, roll an investigation. You gonna do a safety dance?
Yes. The safety dance with Toki Poki
I
together.
can
at
dance
the
if
same
I want
time.
to.
You can leave your friends behind. You could.
I will
End
leave my
of-
friends behind if we just don't go.
No,
End
no.
of game. Start off high.
So I have a 22.
22 investigation. Wow, nice.
Yes.
Okay. So you're not super knowledgeable about magic,
No.
but
nothing.
everyone around you seems totally okay with this. This definitely seems normal. The circle, from what you can tell, is complete and is in working condition, and nothing seems out of place.
I suppose I'm satisfied. So I get in. I get in the circle.
Okay.
But on the very edge.
So now that you all are lit up in this blue light, let's do some character descriptions.
I was actually
I'm making
just
my own
going to
sound
say.
effects, yeah.
suddenly we're in Stargate. SG-1.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How I feel.
I think it's. Just wanted to say it's mighty keen that we all walked into the circle together without knowing any of each other's names. I think that's mighty fantastic. Weldor, he'll say, by the way, speaking of names, I go by Weldor. It's a pleasure. He's a small turtle cleric wearing this shiny new plate. And tied to his back, he's got this large shield that is like, it seems to kind of be like the covered in thorns and beautiful like pink, almost pink roses on the front. He's already mentioned his makeshift spear called a Wika, something like that. And he's a turtle, so green and bald. but he is wearing like this like small like almost bandana of like purple and green on his forehead. So that's about it.
And you said he has a weed whacker?
What?
He's wielding a weed whacker? Is that what you said?
A week. It's not like a weed whacker.
I feel like that
kind
goes
of
with the tea leaves.
Yeah. So it's like a makeshift spear. Like you kind of, it looks like he made it like yesterday, but it's kind of, but like from like a design perspective, but it does the job. And yeah, like, and on his he's actually does have a small like satchel with as you've now realized, some tea supplies as well as other adventuring things.
Very nice.
All right. Well, pleasure to make your acquaintance, Weldor. As far as, working with people you don't really know, you spend a lot of time on the sea. You get the crews come and go, So Granrock is a gold scale dragonborn. He's about 7 foot tall. Really fitting into his nice new shiny plate mail armor. Carries a big great sword on his back. He does wear a necklace that's made out of some seashells from various locales that he's been to. And he does have a lot of the parts that the plate mail doesn't cover. He does have a few cuts and scrapes from various things. You never know. He could have cut himself while he was shaving. He might have gotten into a few scuffles with pirates. Who knows? But he just kind of takes everything at face value. It's like, yeah, okay, you need me to go somewhere? I'll go somewhere. I'll look over to the Warforged. And what's your story? We don't see many of you.
Yes, you can call me Spike. And I point to the top of my head where you see a bunch of tiny little spikes growing out that look like, or kind of look like hair.
That's cool.
I'm wearing a leather armor. I'm about 6.5 feet, carrying a quarterstaff with me. Yes, I was built to use more magic than I was for fighting.
That's fair.
Cool.
And yet you are
Alright.
so tall.
Well,
Oh, here we go.
I haven't even gotten the word out,
And
and
I
you're
know
already
what the
giving me
words are
crap.
coming.
Anyway, yes, my name is Piper, and I have this like long, like fire red hair going down to about the mid back, and I'm wearing, all leather, so I don't get all clanky like a couple of individuals in this party.
We got that fixed. Ingenuity. We got that fixed.
I'm dressed in the some of the basic rogue type get up. On one hand I have like a signet ring of royalty on that hand, and I have on one side on my hip I have my rapier, on the side I have a couple daggers on my belt, and behind me on my belt is what looks like almost a steak, like one of those metal stakes.
I thought they meant like the steak you eat.
No,
Like how unusual.
that would have been pretty cool.
We
No,
could
you
feed the
get a little
giant.
hungry.
I mean, we got steak. Our new turtle friend knows how to brew tea. I think this is turning into a wonderful dinner party.
Yes, or a really nice picnic. But yeah, I have that attached to my back. And
I suppose you're going to talk about your mother now.
why must you bring mother into
Because
this?
you always bring the mother into these. Go on, tell them.
Hey, she was a mean lady, okay? Anyway,
Are we still in the circle, or where are
Yes. Yeah, you're
We
still
are
in the
still in
circle.
the circle.
we? Okay.
Barely. Like on the
I
edge.
just love it's like this like mini family reunion. The guy's just like, are we like doing this?
CA, could you describe Natasha real quick?
I'd love to talk about my character. So Natasha, she got the long red hair also, and we do, because we're twins, we look very similar. However, my outfit looks a little bit like Lulu from Final Fantasy, with all of the belts.
Mhm.
And a
Oh,
little
yes,
bit of
yes.
fur, a little bit seems appropriate. And currently, while standing in this circle of doom, I'm letting my hair float out because I'm a Ganazi, so it looks like I'm kind of flying with the wind. Yes, because I'm all about dramatic effect. So
I'm curious. Both of you are fire ganassi. Is your skin any different?
I don't know. How would you
I mean,
describe our
does it
skin?
really matter? My skin, I feel like I'm just like everybody else.
I mean, it probably looks maybe a little darker, just almost like a fire charred look, just a little bit.
Okay.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
somewhere
kind of
between
cool.
that-
We look awesome. Like I feel like it's cracked like lava.
Yeah.
See, I
That'd be
love the fire ganassi aesthetic, so I just wanted to
Mhm.
ask.
Yeah, me too.
And when you touch our skin, it causes little flames. Just poof, little flame.
Would it be hot enough to bring water to a boil?
Well,
I mean, I could.
we could. Let me tell
right.
you, it is a great
We
party
just sit
trick.
down in a circle and make tea together.
I'm done with this party already. Y'all are set. You don't need me anymore. I love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, cool. So with all those character descriptions done, you see him build up some energy in between his hands. He goes, "Now say, thank you, sir."
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. God, a little appreciation.
A little bit snippy in the circle.
Like
isn't he?
right before we pop off, I'm not sure if I'm inclined to.
Yeah, exactly. He just lets it go. He definitely lets it go right before you finish that sentence. And you all disappear at a blue flash and reappear, feeling kind of weird. You feel tingly on the surface of your skin for just a moment.
How would I feel?
You wouldn't feel anything.
It's fair
You were
point.
dead inside.
No, you're teleported to the outside of the bunker. So it seems like you were teleported maybe like 20 feet, but there was no way out of the bunker. And because this is a battle zone, every inch makes a big difference.
Good to know.
Inclined to. Oh, all right.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. What's before you is a large vacant area. You can see probably about maybe like 80 feet in front of you is this just behemoth of a structure. A large metallic wall. You would guess probably 500 feet across. It's huge and at least 100 feet tall.
Whoa.
It's goes up, straight up, and then bends at the top. The ground around you is completely vacant. There's no plant life. It's all just mud. There's broken weapons, bits of fence everywhere. This place is much less kept in order than the rest of it. But you see at your feet from the teleportation circle a chalk white path that goes straight to the wall. I say straight. It curves around certain obstacles.
This is a very
Would
odd
it be?
place.
Sorry.
This is a very odd place.
Would it be in a perception or investigation if I want to look for any holes around?
Perception.
16.
Okay. You do see along the path, like probably 20 feet away, 10 feet away here, at least 3 to 4 very large craters. Most of them are far back, like kind of where you guys are from the wall, over by the bunkers.
We were told to watch out for holes. I would watch out for those craters over there. And I point to where they are at.
Looking out.
Thank you, Spike.
Gotta love Warforged.
I mean, I feel like since you are an expert on holes, you should lead.
I look back over to the Major. So I'm assuming that this whole teleportation thing was to kind of show us the path.
Oh, you look toward the
Sir?
Major? Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sir?
Sir.
Yeah, you're on your own. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, I suppose. Okay.
All right.
I guess. Oh, I pull out the map. Isn't the map? Let me pull it out. What does the map look like?
So,
Never looked
the
at it.
map, now that you pulled it out,
Yes. This is probably the first time. Let me take a look.
you see like a very detailed map of the fort you were in, the path, different like merchants you could have gone to see.
I cross it out so nobody sees. I smudge with my thumb.
the entire layout of the bunker, where different like tactical positions are, where to find certain ranked officers, etc., etc. But at this point, the only thing relevant to you
No, no.
is that the chalk path is exactly what you should follow up until about a halfway point at it, and then it directs you to go around a crater, and then go the rest of the way on the chalk path.
So I show everyone the map and I say, hey, look, there's a chalk line we should follow around this crater.
Well, since you got the map, I suppose you should probably be the one to take the lead and show us where we need to go.
Damn it.
I want you to roll an intelligence check.
I don't think I'm smart enough to read the chalk map.
There we go. Always trying to be the leader.
Is it
in
a
every
special
group.
skill or just a roll?
Just a straight roll.
15.
15. All right. You notice that on the map there is like a point that's been like marked for you to go like out and around one of the craters that's far away from the path.
Mm-hmm.
But the path itself is not broken, and so you're going to have to try and estimate where that point is.
See, I don't need no stinking map. We go. I start walking.
Oh, all right. I
I'm
thought
excited
we
for
were
this.
gonna. I thought we were gonna vote. Okay.
Grand Rock just shrugs. It's like, voting. I don't know if this is we've gotten to that point yet, but we'll figure that out if we survive all this. And I proceed to follow Piper and hope that she knows where. Natasha, and hopes that she knows where she's going.
You and me both.
That's not particularly reassuring.
Before I walk out, I make sure to call the mage sir because that's what he told us to do. Then I start walking up.
Nice.
Literally smart.
As we walk, so Spike, it's pretty obvious what your namesake is, but do you know if you had that name before or after the spikes were added?
I've always had the spikes.
It would look good with a little bit of flame.
I'm gonna lie, I was expecting something a little bit deeper than that. Meaning wise, but that's all right. Because you're you.
Well, Hades had flame tips, just saying. It's pretty cool.
I don't know who that is.
Well, I'm sure we can always educate you next time.
I'm sure we'll meet him eventually on this journey.
Are there any flames nearby? Or torches nearby?
I was gonna say, other than me, I'm on fire.
Wow.
No, there are not. It is daytime.
Okay.
So we can all see, and I'll get there.
I mean, I can produce flame with my hands. Did you need flame?
No, I can slightly control fire if I need to.
Well, I make flame, you control it.
Sounds good.
Yes, we have a plan. For what I do not know, but we have plan.
Plan to light his head on fire?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Good at making plans.
Making notes.
I mean, that'd be really cool, right?
So as we're walking, do we hear anything?
You hear
Only me
nothing.
sizzling.
It is eerily quiet. It is like weirding you out. It is so quiet. There's not even wind.
I'm a little weirded out.
I think this is what some of them soldiers call no man's land. And yet we're going into it because apparently that's what we've been paid to do.
Have we been paid? I don't know if we ever got that far.
I don't. Well, the other thing is that I think this. The other thing is that I think the Senate of the Gods decided that we needed to do this, and I don't know about you, my turtle friend, but we kind of got obligations to that.
Yeah, it's I've heard the slang term "voluntole" before, and that's about how it feels.
Yeah.
To be frank, though, it doesn't. I'm not confronted either way. I'm happy to help, and if these giants are a problem, I'm happy to make them go away.
I love how they're like, "You're going to your death. Stand in a circle," and we're like, "Okay, that's fine." We watch the holes and be all right.
It felt right. It felt right.
Well, I felt like if we didn't do it, then a lot of things would get derailed.
Well, I love how we missed like half the storyline inside the fort and continue
You're
downwards.
fine. It just means you're going to get deeper into the
Good times.
weirder storyline.
No.
Perfect.
Weirder's always good.
This entire time, I've been still crouched down and kind of kneeling down as low as I can.
Oh, staying low? Yeah.
Oh, that is what they said. Attention to detail. I like.
With your intelligence check, you are able to discern that once you get to about the midpoint of the path, you can see this pit off to your right, and you know that's the one that you're supposed to go around.
Don't step in the pit.
Is this the pit we gotta circumvent?
Yes.
Yes. I'm assuming some kind of tremor going to come out of it.
Then we should probably circumvent and get back on the path.
Probably best, yes.
Sounds like a plan to me.
I was going to say, are you going to tell anybody? Because
it's a good question.
Things happen.
I tell everyone.
Oh, man!
All right, so you guys all go around. You approach the wall. Once you get to the wall, there's lots and lots of broken ballista here.
Oh.
You see broken swords thrown down. There's like large mounds, like right before the wall, like the front face of the wall. And in front of you is a door that has kind of like graffiti on it. And it says, free ride to Sinpa here. Sinpa is the goddess of death.
Well, that's convenient.
So kind of like is it written kind of how you would in a bathroom stall?
Yeah, a little bit like that.
Does anybody have a mending spell?
Not really. Why?
Because I'd like to fix the ballista.
How do you intend on carrying the siege weapon?
I didn't get that far. I need a mending spell.
Unfortunately, I did not prepare that today. Ask me again tomorrow.
I didn't either.
I put a tiny handkerchief down on it and do like a sort of weird prayer that doesn't exist. And I move on.
I like how you put it. I put the weird prayer that doesn't exist on it.
I tell you what, Natasha, if we happen to get back, we'll take one of these broken ballista back to the base and we'll see if we can't get it fixed up for you and put it on a wagon or something like that.
You are a good person. We best friends.
I kind of give Natasha a little bit of a thumbs up. I was like, sure, let's go with that.
You gave the rogue weapons. She likes you.
That doesn't take much.
That feels like progress to me.
The door is covered in locks. They're all obviously on this side. It's got slide locks and bars, and all of it looks mostly openable except one large padlock.
For the free ride, does it have like an arrow leading to where our death is? Like, is it down into like a pit?
I believe the idea is that if we happen to go in here, we are going to meet with something that will kill us. Okay. I think that's the meaning behind this.
I wasn't sure if it was like a bus stop and you sit and they come and get.
What? What is a bus?
And now I have an idea for another campaign.
Instead of like the Reaper on the boat, I thought maybe bus.
Meep, meep.
No, but I imagine if you meet with one of these giants and you ain't dodgy enough, they'll probably just get you some frequent flyer miles.
I just
mean,
immediately thought, take it away, Annie.
Oh man, it's too funny.
Yes.
I mean, it's a good query. I mean, we need to understand if it's more literal or not. You know, it's more, eventually death versus you die now.
I understand now. It was confusing at first.
All right. Well, anybody know how to open a lock? They didn't exactly give us a key for this.
Well, I kind of search around a little bit. I pull out my lock picking tools. Well, we got these locks, or keys.
I'd love to see you try to pick them.
He has them. He may not know how to use them.
There's a reason
why don't
why
you go ahead and why don't you go ahead and take a crack at that?
Okay.
And I laugh to myself.
Who's the one that's who's the one that's doing it?
All this is all in.
This is gonna be. Let's see.
It's good. You watch.
Well, real quick. I just slap my gauntleted. It's turtle. So it's like that. Live long and prosper.
Turtle power.
Turtle power. Speaking of turtle power, and give you a little extra momentum, and I cast guidance.
All right. And what does that give? Isn't that like a D4?
D4. Yep.
All right. Let's see if I can just remember. All right.
Just take your time. We have all day.
I feel like I'm going to have to cast that about 11 more times.
It may have been good that I got that guidance because I rolled a natural 7, but I did get a 4 from that D4. So yeah, that's 11.
Plus, you're proficient in thieves' tools, aren't you?
Yep, I am.
So
I still got the 7. I got a 7 and a 3.
Well done.
I'm doing great. Great start.
Just good time. I'm going to sit down and wait for the bus.
Wait a minute.
So you rolled a 3 on the die?
I rolled a 3 and a 7 because don't you get advantage when you
No, it's just it's like a skill check. So for you it'd be whatever you rolled on the dice plus your dex modifier plus your proficiency bonus, which is like +3 at this level.
Yeah. All right.
And then add a D4 to that.
So okay. Oh, that's right. So that's 7. Actually, that would make it 16.
Much better.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
It's like, you rolled an 11? No.
Yeah.
This is a rogue. This can't be right.
Yeah.
Can't be right. Hold on.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Okay. So with a 16, this lock is it's very strong, but it's very simple in its mechanism. So you're easily able to unlock it. And it comes off. It's extremely heavy.
One down.
Oh God, that's heavy. Try to take it off.
I got it. I take my big meaty dragonborn claw and I just pick up the padlock.
I help as well.
You
keep it?
You guys
I'm gonna keep the padlock. We can't lock ourselves into this place. We don't. I wouldn't want to anyway. And you never know when a good padlock will come in handy.
I mean, locking death out is pretty smart.
I mean, it could even be used as an improvised weapon as well.
That
Throw it at
decision
people.
may or may not have been important.
Metal is pretty useful.
We could
So
melt
yeah,
it
I'll
down.
just pick up the padlock and I'll put it in my bag.
starting the collection.
All right. The rest of the locks you don't need to use thieves' tools to unlock. They just are slats and bars, things that you can just physically remove.
Okay.
Once you remove it all, the door is so heavy that it just swings open with its own weight.
I hold on to it as it swings open.
It swings
Whee!
at you.
Oh no! You just hear it go smack.
Remember Natasha? I remember.
I attempt to swing and fail. That's
roll a dex check or save.
oh, it's
Excuse me.
so bad. So bad. That's what it is. Oh no, is it a fine? Oh, so it is a 8.
Wow.
These
Rogues.
twins, man.
Where do we
These
get them
twins.
from?
These are rogues. These are rogues.
These are rogues. All said.
Oh, Piper, roll a dex save.
Oh, the Piper is for you.
Piper.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's for you. You the
Roll a dex save. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Apparently, I took
Get
it
out of
with
the way
me.
of the
My
door.
apologies.
Okay. Let's see.
I'm right behind him. Do I need to? Considering I literally just cast guidance on him.
That would be a 15.
All right. So
I'm about
Piper,
to
you're
get
able
crushed.
to move out of the way.
Woo!
Natasha, were you right in front of the door as well? Is that why you rolled?
I was in the door making fun of Piper.
That's fair. Yeah. That
Yes,
makes sense.
just as I do. Mhm.
So with your 8, that adamantine door
Oh,
slams
no.
into you,
Oh no, I
Oh,
know what the
no.
word means.
and you take 10 bludgeoning damage.
No,
Oh.
I'm crushed.
Ouch.
If you could
You
help me with
you
that
can
door.
actually reduce that damage CA if you want.
Okay.
You know,
Sure.
I have trouble with doors in real life too. This does not surprise
This
me.
is true. Yeah, you could uncanny dodge.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you do.
I should probably do that. Because it's not going so well. So how does uncanny dodge work? It's 4d6, right?
Well,
No, you just do it. It's a reaction.
Oh.
Just the thing.
You
Right.
just say
Uncanny dodge.
uncanny dodge.
yeah. So you basically get to do that like once per turn, and it's once per round, but it basically takes that 10 damage and reduces it to 5.
Yep.
But don't you think we should save it for something like a
You
giant?
you get to use
You
it.
use
You
it-
get to
You
use
get to
it.
use it.
all
You
the
get to use
time.
it multiple times,
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
because I am
all of the time.
Yeah.
I just
It's
You'll
kind
get
of
to a
annoying.
point-
No.
Yeah, it is. It's like I'm trying to make you go to sleep. You're like, uncanny dodge.
I
You
can't
know,
go
don't
down like
think
this
you
with
die.
door, so I do uncanny dodge.
Okay.
Great.
So the door just like you duck out of the way, and it just kind of like bank hits you across the nose.
Ow.
I feel like that was probably deserved.
It's like being smacked with like a newspaper, like a puppy dog.
So I peer into the doorway. Is there anything that I noticed that's like odd or out of place before we step into the scary doom wall?
So what you see is first of all, as you're peering into the doorway, you notice this wall is extremely thick, like at least 10 feet thick. You see that around the door there's several like dents and dings. You're looking across a giant field. There are hills of just stuff, debris, bodies, stones, different types of like spikes and like large arrows and spears, and you're not sure if there's giant swords. There's bits of like scorched earth. What little earth you can actually see under all of this stuff is just churned up mud. The ground is extremely uneven. There's tons of holes. And way at the end of your vision, you can see the Wall of Giants, a large rusty brown wall that's at least 200 feet high.
Cool. And that's our destination, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. I turn back to the rest of my party. It as bad as it looked at coming up here, it's kind of worse.
Well, we are talking about giants. They're
Kind of worse.
they're not great. Not
Mm.
great.
I appreciate your optimism.
Well, it's I mean,
That was sarcastic.
well,
Those
to be
responses
fair,
joke.
I didn't
Ah.
see any giants between us and our next particular point of destination. So that's good.
Man.
But we did see a lot of holes. I look immediately towards Spike.
Oh,
And
no.
I look back and then I look back to everybody else. We should probably avoid the holes and make our way that way.
Yes, let's avoid the holes.
Right.
I'm right there with all.
He says from crouch position.
Yes.
Is there anything on the map that we have?
Nope, the map ends here.
Just like he said.
Does your back hurt, Spike? Because I mean, it feels like you'd have a bit of the lower back tension. If I'm just curious.
No, I'm okay.
All right.
I mean, I was the one who got hit with the door.
Yeah, no one asked you if you were okay.
Yeah,
Isn't that
I'm
funny?
like bleeding.
We were told
To be
oh, so
from
that's
a
what I'm
flesh
doing.
wound from door.
fair enough, but to be fair, I feel like that was a bit of a unenforced error on your part. So
A little bit of Schadenfreude in this group.
I feel it is.
We haven't spent enough time together to get over the Schadenfreude. It's one of those things like, oh, who are these pricks that I'm working with right now?
that's kind of where we're all at. I feel like.
All right. So yeah, I mean, if nobody else is taking point, I will start walking through the wall and keeping an eye out for stuff that wants to kill me.
Well,
I mean,
better the big dragonborn than us smaller folk.
What do you
I'll go
feel
next.
like the holes are from? Like, should we investigate hole?
We were told to avoid the holes.
I know, but like, why are they there?
But Natasha is troublemaker. The
I'm like curious cat.
Look, you want to stick your head in one of those holes, you go right ahead.
I mean, according to chat, they said I should.
Who the heck is that god?
Lucia God tell me to stick my face in the hole.
I feel like that's another unenforced error coming right up. But to be fair, it was both 1 and 2, as I declared earlier.
That is true. Can I look at
You know
the
what?
hole from afar? To determine why it's so dangerous?
Not kinda.
Like, is
There's
there
a lot
anything
of
coming out
stuff
of
in
it?
the
Like
way.
steam?
There's no steam. No,
Does it
No
look like
steam coming
something
up out
falls
of it.
from above to make hole?
they do. They look like craters. Yes.
That's no good. I look up. Is there something above?
You
called
don't
the
see
sky.
anything in the sky.
Anything
So-
that could fall, go boom?
As you guys get out into this area, you realize that the wall was shielding you from an intense wind. As soon as you step out
Oh no.
from it, it just kind of hits you in small gusts. It's very cold. It's much colder here than it was earlier. Not sure.
Ugh.
Is it like impeding our progress for moving forward? Or
No,
is
it's
it
not.
just
It's not
like-
enough to move you, but it's a strong wind. Yeah, it kind of cuts like through your clothes and armor, and you feel it like the cold just cut deep to your bones.
I'm not cold.
I do not like cold.
It's
I
just
am not cold.
I,
terrible.
I love the idea of you just saying that out loud for no reason whatsoever. Like, gee, thanks, Spike.
Oh my
I love
God.
Spike so much.
The
Spike is a treat.
the sky is
The full-
overcast.
Of course. it is.
It's just cloudy.
Alright.
Then I stay away from the hole. I would like to see it, whatever's coming at me before I do this.
Is
I mean,
this
you
still-
can go look
is-
in the hole.
But if they come from the sky, why would they go there?
You feel like it's probably craters from stuff falling from the sky.
Yeah, it's no bueno.
Is that
Alright.
is that infernal?
Yes.
So are they
Infernal
craters, or
Spanish.
do they look like deep holes from where we're at?
They look like craters. To you.
Okay.
I mean,
Like-
they are deep.
Is there anything around the craters, like little bits of rock from possibly a catapult?
It's kind of hard to tell, but you see that the debris that's all over the ground and everything has definitely been disrupted. So the holes have, the reason they look like craters is because everything around them is kind of piled up around the rim, and then they look like just large impacts. They're scattered. They don't look dug. When you look kind of at the edges of them, without looking in them, they look like not smooth, like torn up.
That's so weird.
It
How could we
wouldn't
not
be
look at it
large.
now? You're so
Wouldn't be large
descriptive.
like. They wouldn't be, to use the Jurassic Park lingo, foot-sized holes.
Wait, it would be what?
Nuh-uh.
Like
Nuh-uh.
they wouldn't be foot-sized. Wouldn't be foot-sized holes. Like eventually, like if I looked at the different craters as they come together to one masterpiece art framework, it wouldn't be a large giant foot.
No, they're not in the shape
Okay.
of a foot. They're very round.
Great.
I feel
And
like
they're not in a pattern.
we have to look
Great.
at the hole.
Are they all like giant weapons on the ground, or are they like normal sized weapons as well?
There's both. Yeah, you see a little bit of both. You see also the bodies of giants and the bodies of regular sized humanoids.
Would I be able to look for just like a sword or something that as a weapon I'd be able to carry around with me?
Most of the weapons around are broken. However, if you want to roll an investigation check, you can take a look for like a whole sword.
Alright.
I hear little tiny music.
21 total.
Mhm.
I hear
I
that.
love it.
Oh, wait, investigation. Yeah, 21 total.
21 total. Okay. Yeah, you're able to find a short sword that is
Okay.
intact.
I'm
You
sorry,
kind
but
of
I
pull
hear
it
the
off
tiny
of.
flute and I'm distracted.
Is the ice cream man here?
I feel like the tiny flute is
The ice cream giant.
beckoning me towards
That's
the hole.
actually who comes to pick you up.
The ice cream giant.
You're tempting me too much to make this game really goofy.
Would it be like
What a turn
Cloud
of
Giant?
events.
I
I was
imagine the
looking
Cloud
for bus
Giants.
and apparently we needed ice cream giant. Oh, I didn't see that
Oh
coming.
no.
I think
See that
they're
coming.
inherently Cloud Giants, but they specialize in ice cream.
Mm.
Very fluffy.
Ice cream is
Explains
they
the
are
cold.
the clouds.
Fluffy.
It's
So
very
you pull
light
this
ice
short
cream.
sword. You pull this short sword from the body of a slayed humanoid. You can't really tell at this point like what kind of humanoid they were. But as you take it out from the hand, the arm just kind of like falls off and tosses off toward you.
I hold on to it with the arm or the hand still hot, holding onto it
Still
intact.
holding it? Okay.
Resourceful. Really resourceful. Shall we proceed?
Let's.
I mean, I don't mind looking in the hole. We have rope.
Don't make me.
You were
kick you
told to
out.
avoid the hole.
If you tie the rope around me and then I go to the hole, I can see you pull me back.
Or I could just boot you down into the hole and.
Don't boot me in the hole.
So happy you're going to the
You
hole.
just push me into the hole.
This is really you know what?
You tell me you have no
I'm-
curiosity about what's in the hole?
None whatsoever.
No?
I
Probably a lot of dirt.
I do, but the difference is I'm actually a pretty good listener.
I like the rope idea.
See, you like the rope idea. Who doesn't like rope?
All right, so we have Mike. We got Spike and Natasha going toward the hole. Anybody else want to join?
I will follow them, but I will stay about 10 feet back from the hole until they're done doing whatever it is that they're doing.
You can hold the rope.
Okay.
And I'll stand over there with them and just watch all the carnage unfold.
I'm not wanting to go near the hole. I'm just making sure that she's safe while she goes near the hole.
I appreciate it.
So, would it be fair to say that Spike, Piper, and Grand Rock are all standing about 10 feet from the hole, watching Natasha go into the hole?
Well, I picture it to be like a rope around my neck, and I go out there.
Around your neck?
No.
Oh,
Oh, Jesus! What is going on?
No, not around my neck.
Wow, this can't. Wow, this one check got dark real quick.
This got dark.
Around my waist.
Your waist. Good. That's where you should put the rope.
And I make it super tight and make my way to hole, and they all stay behind with rope.
Okay.
As-
Holding onto the rope.
As she's about to like make her way in, I'm just kind of like standing. Ah, crap. And I walk towards it, and I place my hand on her back, and I cast Enhance Ability.
I am like monkey now.
Close. So you have actually, I think, yeah. I'm only doing this at the So sorry, second level. Okay. So So cast grace. Yep. So you have advantage on dexterity checks. Don't die.
Boulder, how much do you weigh?
Are you talking to me?
I feel like turtles are pretty heavy, right?
Turtles are pretty heavy.
And you're wearing plate armor, aren't you?
I definitely am.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Either a good thing or a bad thing.
I'm gonna need you to
I'm
I'm a
not-
roll
little concerned about my
Cool.
decision.
a dex save.
Yep. That's what I was hoping you were going to say.
Carnage.
It's like we're in the movie Tremors. Let's see. Actually, not too terrible. So just for the record, I have a +0 to saving throws for Dex. But I rolled a natural 14.
Nice.
Is he
back
within?
enough,
Is
but-
he within? Would he be within
We're
10
in
feet
so
of
much
me?
trouble.
Yes, he would be within 10
Yeah,
feet
you are
of
all
you.
far better.
Add +3 to that.
17.
Ah, that helps.
Much
Okay.
better. Yes.
So
All
as
right,
you're
folks,
standing
yay.
there and you reach down and touch her back to cast the spell on her,
Oh no.
the debris that you are standing on shifts, and your leg kind of like kicks some of the stuff down. And you see like some bones and a few weapon pieces go down into the pit, and you hear kind of a squish as it goes down there, but you're able to kind of catch yourself. Natasha,
Oh no.
who's holding the rope?
Wouldn't I be?
I hope we would discuss this before I got here.
I thought I was holding the rope because I offered to go with her to make sure she was safe to
This is
Okay,
true.
so
go down
Spike
the
is
hole.
holding the rope.
Of course, not my brother or my sister, whoever you are.
So
Leaving
Natasha,
me
as you
non-hanging.
slide in, you literally slip down the side of this thing. It's very slick. I need you to roll a dex save to catch yourself.
Oh my goodness. And what is this special? Because I am monkey?
Well, it's only for dexterity checks, so it doesn't really help
Oh,
with
no.
that. But
Oh, it's
But-
not a 20.
20.
20.
Oh, hey.
Oh, there you go.
Not
Nice.
20. It's our
Um,
first one of the game. Oh, you can't see it. Can you see? Can you see?
Yep.
But
yep.
if
Yes.
Yeah, but if you fall, real quick, if you fall 20 feet or less, you don't take any damage.
But
So
did you
that's
die? That's all I
But
can
did you
picture.
die?
Did you die?
But did you die though?
But that's it. No, that you die when you get to 120 feet.
No,
20 feet's
okay.
fine.
Okay. I
So
am
you're
the
able
knight.
to control your fall
Oh, no.
as you
I
go
make
down
it
the side
look
of this
graceful.
mud wall, and you find like a leg sticking out from the side of it, and
No,
you're able
no.
to like catch a hold of it, and you notice that now that you're in this pit, it's full of dead bodies,
cool.
Oh, I'm going to be
Lovely.
super stinky.
and there's lots of spikes in the bottom of it.
Hold it.
Of course
Pull me
it
up.
is.
Pull me up. No. Spike, pull me up. That's super
I
ironic
walk
that
over
this
to
is
where
happening.
Spike has the rope, and I just start
I'm like
manhandling it
yelling
back up.
Spike, but like talking about the spikes at the bottom of the pit, not actual Spike. Like nobody knows what I'm talking about. Like
There's spikes down here. There's more Warforged down there. What?
really likes my hair.
More like me.
Everybody starts coming down. No.
Yeah, that's immediately what I would think too.
I'm kind of curious if Spike would be like, "Wait, what? No, I gotta go look."
There's spikes.
Okay.
Pull me up. Pull me up.
Granrock, make a strength check with advantage, or athletics with advantage, because Spike is helping you. I
Yeah,
assume
I'd be,
Spike is
trying,
helping.
Well done.
I'd be trying to help. Yeah.
Guidance.
That'll be a. That'll be 21. Thanks with the guidance.
Okay, cool. You're able to easily pull Natasha up. Natasha, as you're being like yanked up the side of this thing, like your face is hitting the side, and it's just like mud and
Oh.
grossness, and
Do I see
you don't
any
know
treasure on
what's
my
in
way
there.
up? Can I like loot as I'm going?
As your face is pressed up against this thing, you do see like a what looks like maybe like somebody's family heirloom or something like that.
I grab
But
the heirloom. If
It's
possible.
a giant medallion.
Oh, I
and
grab
it's
it
just
like
kind of like
Abu
barely
from
sticking out. You see a
Aladdin.
little glint of gold.
I get it.
You get it.
I get it like a boo.
You're like, ooh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm continuing. I try to keep yanking the rope until to Natasha is at, like 15 feet back from the hole, and as she's just laying there, I'm just like, satisfied now.
It was totally worth it, and I show that little heirloom.
Yeah, I kind of walk up behind her and I smack her upside the head. Don't do that again.
Hey,
I go to Natasha. You said there was more me in the hole. I'm confused.
there's more of me. There is spikes in the hole, not
Oh
more
my
you
God!
in the hole.
You're having a life crisis.
When you say spikes, do you mean I point to Spike, or do you mean more? And then I make a jabbing motion with with one of my javelins.
Do I know if I was like inside their mouth, or if they were just spike
Oh my
traps?
God!
Like, was I about
there
to
were
be
there
eaten?
were like maybe spike traps. You're not sure if it was purposeful. It seemed more like there was a bunch of stuff in here that got shattered and created a bunch of like makeshift spikes.
So I say, it's a trap, but in Russian. Because I can't do both at the same time. To make that
Ooh.
joke for Star Wars. Just saying.
We were told to stay away from the holes.
Yes, but we got an heirloom.
Yeah,
Well done.
and you could have died could have died to get it. So,
But-
you know.
Did you die?
Now I have to find out what "it's a trap" is in Russian.
I know, and then figure out how
Boy.
to say it.
So if we're done looking inside of holes and taking precious family heirlooms from the maybe recently deceased or not so recently deceased, shall we proceed, or you planning on diving into any more holes?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and
Distinctly
just
possible.
veto the
We
rest
can
of
go.
this if you all don't mind. I would prefer to also not die from falling on hills of dead things, if you don't mind.
Let
I
us
point
go.
to Eldor. You see, I like him. He understands not dying.
Yes, he would understand not dying very well.
Definitely. I mean, I could bring you back, but it's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna even try to pronounce that.
So it'd be Itta and then whatever trap is.
It's a trap.
But,
I know I didn't say it right.
Это ловушка.
Ark.
It's a trap.
The whole time I'm just carrying
Oh.
a sword with a hand attached to it.
Yeah.
we're really trying our best not to pay that any mind.
Yeah, it's like, no one says anything, apparently.
Not dealing with that today. It's not an undead. We're not dealing with that today.
Okay, everybody make a Constitution save.
Oh no.
That's not a
If you're
good
within
thing
10
to
feet of
ask.
me, you get +3 to this.
All right.
That is going to help you guys a lot.
That's it. Not me.
It, not me.
It's
I got to be a natty 21.
I feel
16.
like 5 not so good number.
Is that with
Eight.
the plus 3?
Well, it's with the +3. Yes.
I got a 14 on my con save.
Okay.
16.
All right. For
Nope.
those of you who rolled below 10,
Oh no.
take 7 cold damage.
No.
Oh.
No. I'm so cold.
Oh, it's a lot colder out here than I thought.
Well, we were just in the warm hole. Now we.
I didn't
cold.
see. What's a twist? I did not see that coming.
What a twist.
Minus 8.
Is it cold? I don't feel anything.
Thank
The
you
worst
for
part
the
is I
update.
legitimately forgot, so your timing was perfect.
Guys, is it cold? Okay.
I
Alright.
love. Okay.
All right. We
need to get
proceed to not here. To
Okay.
the place we
proceed to not here.
So, as
I
you're
love it.
crossing this field, if you could call it that, this
I'm
horrible
concerned
place,
now.
these deadlands,
Hmm.
across to the wall, you step on all sorts of things, bone and spikes and squishy things you don't want to know what it is. And
Oh, lovely.
As we're walking, I will go ahead and use one of my divine senses just in case one of these things wants to come up and eat us.
I don't know what you mean. Yeah.
Divine sense allows me to sense any celestials, fiends, or undead within like
Right.
30 feet of me.
Yeah.
I think it's 60 feet.
Oh, even better.
Yeah, okay, so use your divine sense. As you're looking around, there's definitely a lot of dead things. You sense nothing. There is nothing around you. Absolutely nothing.
Well, that
Considering the
seems
amount of
fine.
corpses around me, reassuring.
I want all of you to roll 2 more con saves for me.
This is
Oh,
no good.
crap.
And remember
We
+3 to
need
this.
Kind of saves? What?
Ooh.
Sure.
Constitution.
A
Okay.
10,
Okay.
both above a 10.
First was a natural 20. The second one was a 21. Soft.
Yeah, I got a 5 and a 16.
Okay.
Yeah, both above 10 for me, unless the DC's gone up. So,
20 not natural and a 15.
26 and 23.
Nice. Okay. For all of you that rolled a 15 or below on either of those, you feel ill because of all of the like breakdown that's going on around you and the terrible smells and sights that you see. And you take 1 level of exhaustion.
Oh,
This is not good.
snap.
We must leave immediately.
That's kind of what we're trying to do.
I'm not
I
a big
guess
fan
why-
of this.
Which means I believe we
Disadvantage on
disadvantage.
ability checks.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
ability checks for now.
Yeah.
For now.
For now.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's.
For now.
This guy.
All right. So at that, you reach the wall. It towers above you. There is like a lot less debris the closer you get to it. And now that you're at it, the area has been completely cleared. Like the muddy earth has been leveled. You can tell like someone has like definitely taken like a giant trowel or something like across it. There are 2 large tunnels. One is far to your left and one is far to your right. You can see them. It's almost like caves in this large rusty brown wall. Now that you're closer to it, everyone make an investigation check.
Natural 1, so I don't notice anything.
Nat 20.
That's a little different.
Natasha
14.
has a 17.
Okay.
25.
Woo!
For those of you that roll above a 15, you notice in the details of the wall that the whole wall is not this rusty brown color. It's gray underneath, and it's definitely made of granite. The rusty brown is actually what looks like dried blood all the way down it.
Mm.
I still think we should go in the cave.
We got like 2 caves, so which one?
The one closest to me to the left.
I point to the right.
Is there anything like surrounding the caves, like symbols or maybe possible trap?
Why don't you take a look at both caves?
I'll
Roll investigation for me.
I'll go to the opposite cave and also do investigate to see if there are any traps or anything.
For sure, the one
Okay.
to the left has a 4. It looks so fine to me.
Yeah.
19 for the one on the right.
It looks like a cave.
Yep,
Which
and
one?
21 for mine.
21. The right one, it's
Or
definitely yeah, it's a little more cavey, you know.
It is the cave.
That's the caviest cave ever.
That ever did cave.
Yeah.
So much
Don't worry,
cave.
it won't cave in
All
on
the
you.
cave.
It won't cave in. No.
It
It's
looks.
Cave
Boom.
Johnson. No.
Let me guess. It's made out of rock.
When life gives you lemons. Who gives you lemons? You go to that. What is it? You go to that person's house that gave you lemons, and you pelt it with the lemons.
Just a little more cavey than the other side.
Yeah, so you notice a little more about this cave. It is definitely like man-made. The dimensions of it are 50 by 50. So it's quite large.
Is it a man-made or giant-made?
Not sure.
When
You don't
God
know.
doesn't even know, I question it.
I
And it's lit.
Question for the gods.
look
He's lit, you say.
I look over to the twins. So what'd you find?
We found caves.
The one on the left looks...
Have you found anything besides the fact that they are caves?
We found openings. It's called a
I
cave.
found like the one to the left is super safe. But the one on the right, I was very perceptive, but seemed like a man-made, possibly giant-made cave.
Well, I believe we're not exactly looking for safety at this point.
Exactly. Let's go to the left.
Before
All right.
before we do
Right.
anything,
I go towards the right.
Before we do anything, well, hold on, Spike. Give me just a moment. If anyone is feeling a bit prickly from our earlier weather excursion, I can help provide a little bit of assistance in that regard. If you're feeling a little froggy.
I'm all right, but if any of these others need some tending to, you go right ahead.
All right.
I feel like a little wounded.
So essentially, anyone within 60 feet of me, which is everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and burn a third level spell slot, as crazy as that sounds right now, and blow a mass healing word. Open this bitch. I'll just say for my word, zinger.
Best word ever.
And that will be. That's pretty good. That'll be 8. Right back to the 8 points.
Fantastic. Thank you.
So as I'm holding Spike while he is attempting to try to go to the right, I'm like, so this one wants to go that way. I then point to Natasha. She wants us to go that way. Which way are we going?
Well, considering that this one over here decided to go into a giant hole, after being explicitly told not to, I think I need to go wherever she goes.
And I just give him like the death stare. Like
I didn't.
your mother gives you when you raided the cookie jar. All right? Like that. Inappropriate.
Oh, you brought the whole
You
back
cannot
up?
give me that look.
Says the
Only
person
Mom
who
gives us
cannot
that
pick
look.
the lock. Just like,
Well, we
I
can-
didn't expect us to get right back to the whole voting system, but
We're trying this democracy thing. We don't have a captain. There's not an established hierarchy, so this is the best we got to work with right now.
Well, we can't avoid a hole in this case. There's only 2 ways to go.
we can't
And they're both
avoid
holes.
it. I love how Spike's so matter of fact. And
I do. He's such a beautiful cinnamon roll.
Oh, this is good.
Well,
So are we going left or right?
Right.
Age-old question.
mm, I feel
Right,
like
that's the question. That's what I was
I feel like you're not here. No, I'm just kidding. I love you. I'm feeling more of the danger than the safety persuasion. If I'm being honest. No offense, Spike. And I
Well,
walk over to the left.
Piper, what do you think?
I say we go to the left.
You know, actually,
Well, now you want to go to the left. Before you didn't want
No,
to go
actually-
to the left.
I'm looking for a little more validation, and I sit down right in the middle, and I'm gonna start to just give me a few minutes, and I'm gonna start to bring out these weird-looking like twigs and instruments, and I'm gonna spend 10 minutes and cast augury.
Okay.
We're gonna see.
Who are you wanting to consult with?
Oh, I don't know the gods of this world, man.
Who's the god of caves?
Just name a domain, and I got you.
Cave Johnson. What is Cave Johnson?
Cave
This
Johnson.
is not
The
Portal.
god of giant caves. Yes.
Let's see. So, I'll go with my domain, life.
Life. Okay. As you set down your instruments, the sun breaks through the clouds and shines down. And in the sunlight, you see an elf, kind of hero land. And you know this to be Soros, the father of life.
Of course.
He looks at you. He's like, "What? What?"
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to intrude if you were busy, but
You're asking
We
for my
just
help
need-
already? You guys haven't even started.
well, my apologies. I didn't mean to be rude. I just thought it was a good time. We're at a bit of an impasse. Perhaps we will be at an impasse a little bit later, and we can talk some more as well. Perhaps with a bit of tea.
Oh, tea would be nice.
Of course.
All is forgiven over a cup of tea.
The gods of the tea. Well done.
You didn't
Well,
say
you
the
know,
tea.
you know, I always have tea. I know it's been a while since we've chatted, but
This is why I like you.
I appreciate that. And I go ahead and set the tea. I don't even know if they can see this, but
No, we can't.
So
you
you
see
see
him
me
talking
set up.
to a sunbeam. Like,
Yeah.
Is he
That's
really,
just
is he really doing that? Is he really talking to himself?
yeah. Like I actually have like a small, like almost wooden like tea set, just middle of a cave, right in front of the sun.
when he puts the puts out the cup of tea, it disappears in the sunbeam. Just poofs.
I just looked at the rest of my compatriots. It's a God relationship thing. Y'all wouldn't understand.
Well,
It's
No,
complicated.
I'm not
we'll,
noticing that
we'll,
anything is
we'll
strange.
go with that.
I'm just thinking this is normal human behavior.
Anyway, brass tacks. Which way would you? We wanted to go and get things done rather quickly with this giant issue. Oh,
What?
is it too strong? Did I speak it too much?
No, I just you. Do you want to know what? Which the left or the right?
Yeah, of course.
They're both bad.
All right.
So, I mean, flip a coin.
I could
You
do
like?
that.
Wait, here I got it. I got you. You like hot or cold?
Well, I prefer hot, especially considering the weather we're experiencing currently.
Better make it the right then. Good tea.
All right.
He tosses.
See you next time. See you next time. I have believed that I've had a change of heart. And I go over to Spike.
Well, he's got communication from his god, so I'm following him. And I follow Weldor.
Well, what do you say?
I'd leave you in the dirt and I keep going to the right.
I hate
I believe
you.
that this is what they may call.
They follow.
Goodness. Okay, so you guys take to the right tunnel. Like I said, really big tunnel. It is lit. There are torches in it, so it's definitely been occupied recently. It slopes down.
Like,
That's it.
how
It slopes down.
big of a slope we talking? Are we talking?
Like
How
like,
big is it?
like 10-degree slope. We'll say.
So
Is
it's
it-
not anything we should be too afraid of sliding down like
Yeah,
in
is
the
it
the
icy?
Goonies.
It's a gradual slope down.
Yeah, but is
Okay.
it icy? Do you see?
Is it icy?
Yes.
No, it is not icy. It is actually quite warm in here.
Is there anything that's so unusual?
It's.
Mhm.
I say that this is quite a perfect temperature for me.
Nobody cares.
I believe.
As
Is there
as a dragonborn who is resistant to fire, I'm like, this is nice.
I know. Am I right? Am I right? The Dragonborn has a point.
Is
It's
there
quite nice in
anything
here.
like above us on the ceiling?
All right,
As
but
you
yeah,
go further in, you notice that there are what look like large shields that are staggered along the pathway. On the walls are hung weapons, racks and racks of gigantic weapons.
Are
We
the
will
shields
quite
also
literally.
like a giant size?
They are like giant size, yes.
Their shields are too?
Hmm.
I believe we are quite literally getting warmer.
We're
Yeah.
about to kick
Uh,
some giant
I'm not
ass.
getting warm.
My warmer.
I do apologize for that, Spike. I did not consider your situation in regards to the previous statement.
I'll be more sensitive next time.
Oh my goodness.
My goodness. Okay. As you continue forward, it is apparent to you that these shields are like dug into the ground. No one is holding them.
all right.
The fire fades. You no longer have torches as you reach the shields, but there's like a faint blue glow.
Where is the glow emanating from?
You'll have to figure it out.
Dun, dun, dun.
Roll investigation.
Oh, yay. Oh, not bad. 18.
Okay. You notice that it's emanating from some mushrooms that are growing along the sides of the walls. Looking at them, do you want to interact with them in any way?
How far away am I from the mushrooms?
They're along the walls. I mean, you can see them plainly from anywhere in the tunnel.
We can all see them.
Now, if the DM asks you if you want to touch the mushrooms, the answer is clearly no, you don't.
I just want to know if you want more details. You want to know what they smell like? You're investigating.
I would approach one because I'm not that smart.
Uh,
I wonder what
straight 10 intelligence, but I would like to get close to him. And would I know what these mushrooms are? Would I recognize them in any way, shape, or form?
I follow.
I follow as well.
Arcana.
Oh boy.
May I as well?
Certainly.
May I as well?
Of course.
9 for me.
12.
19.
All right. None of you recognize these mushrooms. You've heard of like mushrooms that are used by underground communities to light tunnels and mines and things like that. But these ones are a little strange. Notably, Grand Rock, as you get close to one, you feel like the heat from around it being like sucked up. It's like cold.
That's pretty cool.
That is
kind of odd.
I noticed. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
As I was gonna say, I noticed you shivering. Is it cold here?
A little bit. It's kind of like this mushroom sucking up all the heat around here.
Maybe we could utilize these somehow. What if we took some with us?
Tell you what, why don't you go ahead and take some of them mushrooms and put them in your pack and see if you can't figure out a use for them later.
I'll start picking out some of the mushrooms.
I will join you.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
Who else picking mushrooms?
But why would you pick up the mushroom that soak up the heat?
Might be good in tea.
See?
But then you'd be giving iced tea.
Now, I don't really get magic all that terribly much, aside from the stuff that my particular god decides to give me every now and again. But I point to the two Fire Ganassi twins and myself. If we don't have too much of an issue with fire, and then I point to to Weldor and Spike. Y'all don't really have that sort of luxury, so maybe these things might help you with that.
Are you suggesting that I eat it?
You know what, Natasha? You go right ahead. See what happens.
It was more of a question.
I mean, if you were
Is that
double
what you're
curious,
saying?
I do have lesser restoration prepared for the day.
Look at Sean's face. It's just like, what is happening?
I don't know.
It
Dungeons
sucks
and
the
Dragons.
heat out of everything.
Dungeons and Dragons is what's happening.
Well,
I
he
just go
suggested
with
that
the
if
flow.
you eat it, it might make it where I can withstand cold.
It's not that, because it sucks up fire and makes it not as hot.
Even though I don't know the magical properties of it, could I make a nature check about just its, other properties? If it's edible, would it go in tea? Would it be really bad if I steeped it? Would it blow up?
You can make a nature check. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, cool. Natural 1. I know nothing, Jon Snow.
No idea.
They don't look
No clue.
poisonous at all.
You'll have to test it out.
Well, I feel like being a fire genasi, it's not wise to eat it. If it takes heat.
I would agree.
While
You
is
eat
taking them.
You eat mushrooms, don't
I'm
you?
not taking them.
Usually you cook them first. But,
I just need to know who has them. So we can-
I went ahead and grabbed a mushroom. Sure.
Yeah,
I have as many as I can carry for
my
whatever that's
goodness.
worth.
I don't even know
Oh
what
my,
it'll
that's
do.
a lot of mushrooms. Okay.
What's my-
Spike, Grand Rock, and Weldor have mushrooms.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Foreshadowing.
Maybe.
I know, right? Maybe not.
And watch as the mushrooms are the key to beating these giants.
As you get done gathering your mushrooms, you kind of come around the corner of this first shield, and you see a giant, just standing there, not looking at you.
Okay, I was going to say, is he looking at us? Because that's a very important question.
About how far away?
He's within 10 feet of you.
What kind of giant is he?
Good question.
We should probably hide.
Roll Arcana.
Okay, Arcana. All right. That'd be a 19.
Okay. You're pretty sure this is a fire giant, but he looks kind of weird. He's very gray.
What's he doing over there?
He's just.
Is he like stood up but looking away from us, or is he like crouched over something?
It looks like he's crouched under the shield, looking forward, and he hasn't moved since you've seen him.
Well, if we look kind of past him, do we see anything in front of him through any distance in front of him?
No, it looks like he was like ducking behind the shield.
Okay.
Is he waiting for something?
I don't know. He's definitely preparing for something. I don't know. It's very suspicious.
Is this giant basically in the one path that we have to go?
You don't have to like touch him, but he's like, if you think of the tunnel being like this, there's a shield and then a shield and there's a person behind. So it's like you could cross diagonally and avoid him.
Okay.
And keep going like that if you wanted to.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think we need to proactively, cause mischief if he's not doing anything particularly terrible.
Yeah, we were only told to find out what's going on around here. So
That's true. Not to necessarily start fights, if possible.
So shall we just pass by him, and if he decides he wants to get all uppity, then we deal with the problem?
Did we give him the downity?
I have no idea what that is, but sure.
Uppity, then we'll put him down, up, down.
Just
uppity, downity.
I just want to say, just out loud, because I'm thinking about it. I would really like to ask him about these mushrooms, but I don't know who this guy is, so I'm gonna pass for now. But
question, just for the sake of completion, does anybody in this group happen to speak the giant language?
Wouldn't that be useful?
I do not have.
The sad thing is we knew the name of the game, and I didn't even consider that.
Big giant.
Did I? Yeah, I definitely didn't pick giant.
Yeah.
But next game we got Aqua. Like, I got this.
Primordial all the way. Yeah. No, I speak Common and Draconic, and that is it.
Yeah. I mean, if this guy somehow speaks Primordial, then
he might.
Good.
He might.
All right.
Anyway.
I go ahead and just draw out my greatsword just for the sake of A, having a little bit of light because I can't see in the dark, and B, just on the off chance that this strange gray fire giant decides he wants to, wallop us. And we'll just kind of circumvent him and just keep an eye out to see if we see anything else that's odd about these guys.
Now, one final question. When you say he's gray, is just his skin gray, or is like everything about him gray?
His
hair,
skin
all that.
seems gray, like dusky.
Okay, I just didn't know if he was like turned into like rock, or because I would hate to have us sneak past him just to find out. He's actually just rock now.
I feel like we should hide no matter what.
You suggest stealth?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are you going to try and sneak past him, or are you just gonna walk?
Yeah,
we're definitely gonna try to pull it out through here. I think.
Let's put these leather pads to use.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no!
That's what's here.
I got a 15.
I got a 21.
I got an
16.
11.
Sometimes it's fun to fail, everyone.
Now is not the time. I have.
Oh, I'm so happy about that.
I feel like the rest is
I think I'm gonna put that D20 away.
So as you guys are going past Weldor, you kind of slip a little bit and kick his boot.
To the boot.
Like your foot slips and hits the back of his boot as he's like in that like 3-point stance. But he doesn't move. He doesn't seem to care.
I just look at the rest of everyone, and I just kind of like.
And I say in as whispered a tone as I possibly can, is he like, I don't know, dead?
Can we see if he's up close and personal? Can I see if he's
I feel like
breathing?
we should not go close to the giant.
I mean, to be fair, I just kicked him.
giant.
I'm on his grill, dog.
No,
can I see if he's like breathing?
we cannot handle giant.
Make a medicine check.
Oh no.
I have a theory, but that's pretty good. And I'm a cleric, so yay! Yeah, that's good. That is a 22.
22. You're pretty sure he's dead.
Hey, everybody. I'm pretty sure this was dead.
Does he
What
have
the hell killed
I
him?
just kind of like take the back of my my gauntlet and just kind of pink, pink, pink.
When you do that,
Oh no.
his body starts crumbling.
Oh Jesus! Oh!
So when you hit the back of his leg, and he just crumbles into dust. In this cloud of dust.
Now I'm just covered.
You're covered in dead giant dust.
And I accidentally inhaled when that happened. Boy, I just swallowed giant.
Does that usually happen?
That is actually a very, very appropriate question. No, not really. Not really at all. Any idea what killed these things, Weldor?
What's that medicine check? Would I have a hunch?
No. You know that because he turned into dust, he'd obviously like been exsanguinated or like somehow his fluid was removed from his body. But you've never seen someone die this way.
I've never seen anyone die this way.
That is very weird.
Do I have any idea based off of the? I probably won't, considering I don't know anything about how. Never mind, I'm good.
So, fire giants got killed by something or someone, and we don't know exactly how.
This does not bode well. I definitely say we should be very careful from this point on.
Let's proceed. Let's proceed down this as quietly as we can, and maybe we'll get some information out of this.
I agree.
I'm getting tired of almost slipping on things. First outside, inside.
You're
Yeah,
not very sure-footed.
right. First was my right foot, and this one my left foot. I don't
This
like
new
this.
armor's kind of unwieldy.
Yeah. Well, I suppose we don't need to go around anymore. Is it still like dead quiet, by the way?
It is still dead quiet. Yeah, it is super quiet.
Yeah.
Question: are there still more of those glowing, heat-sucking mushrooms that are just around this whole tunnel?
Yeah, they're lighting the whole tunnel.
Okay. Cool.
At least it's well lit in here.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and sheathe my greatsword for the time being. Quietly we go.
Actually, before we go, I take some of the mushrooms out and I kind of like put it like in a circle around the pile of nothingness.
The dust.
Are you trying to
right.
bring the giant back to life?
No, I'm saving that for you, my dear.
Point taken.
We have analyzed the party, and you're gonna be the one who needs it.
I have read the reports, and most likely use of Revivify on goes to. No, I just feel like, leave something to mark his, just felt right.
That's mighty kind of you, especially to apparently the mortal enemy of the humanoid races, but I like it. It's all right.
Yeah, everyone has a story.
After you handle these mushrooms for a little bit of time, your fingers feel like really icy cold. And you take two cold damage. You have like a bit of frostbite on the end of your fingers.
Oh, lovely.
You all right?
No problem whatsoever. Feeling good.
All right. Well, let's get moving then.
All right.
Stealthy.
As you go down this tunnel. Yeah, do you want to stealth?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
Let's try again. What could go wrong? That's like me.
That's the worst thing to ask.
If you haven't, I play with fate. Come on now. I rolled okay. I did okay. 15 for me.
Yeah, 14 for me.
12.
It's not a natural one,
Oh, no.
but it is a 1.
Oh, no.
18.
Oh, no.
That's
That
never
won't
good.
affect anything. Don't worry.
Never good.
Never does.
All right. So as you round the next bunch of shields, you see yet more fire giants that look exactly the same as that last guy. They're in different positions. You see some that are kind of crouched down. You see some bracing for impact. As you approach one, there's one that's like looking over the shield and like has a spear like at the ready, and it's just kind of like frozen in place.
Is the spear
Between
like
this-
also look just like them?
You mean like a big spear?
No, I mean like the weapons and the person look like one, like all one ash.
Oh no, they look somewhat normal. Their skin is just super gray.
Okay.
Would I be
They've
able to
lost all
tell
color.
if they were killed magically or by naturally? Like, would I be able to make an Arcana check?
Yeah, you can make an Arcana check.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
22.
22. It's fairly obvious to you that they were killed by some form of magical means. This is like, you can't think of a natural way for them to die this way. It's very weird.
Does it look like me? Okay, like, so they're not stone. They just look really old.
They just look dead. Like they look the same as they normally, like you would expect them to normally look, except their skin is just completely devoid of color.
Okay.
And they're not on fire.
This was done magically, not naturally. I say to the rest of the group.
Okay.
Well, that at least that tells me
Appreciate
that the considering these mushrooms kind of grow out of nature, that dubs that theory of mine.
Mhm.
Thankfully, too.
Everyone make a perception check as you reach the end of this tunnel.
Yeah, I was actually about to ask for if like there are any tracks or anything that aren't giants, but
Oh, boy.
doesn't matter
7.
because I rolled a 4.
I rolled a 7. I'm
Five,
doing
actually.
great.
I have a
14.
14. Yes.
All right, that dice goes in the jail too.
An unnatural 20.
Woo!
Did anyone roll above a 22?
No.
Nope. Okay. You don't hear anything.
Oh no.
Oh, not nice knowing you guys.
It's one of Dems, eh?
One of them days. Yep.
It's one of them
I guess-
days.
I guess if none of us hear anything, we're still proceeding, but I imagine we're still being stealthy because, we still don't know what the heck's going on.
Totally safe.
So as you reach the end of this tunnel, in front of you is a lava flow. You feel intense heat off of it. And
I don't-
you feel like you're pretty those of you that have thermoreceptors, you feel a lot of heat off of it, and you also get the feeling that you're for those of you that have feelings, that you're underground.
Well said.
That you're deep underground now. Across this lava flow, you see an elaborate city. There are tall, like bronze buildings that are all like obviously hammered out and forged. Large towers. It's very like Gothic type structure. Lots of like pointy structures, and it's very dark. There's more of the like fungus is lighting up like edges of the city, but it's very dim.
I would figure a city that big would probably have more lights in it.
I agree.
Unless the denizens of the city didn't need light.
Unless there's
Like,
something
is
wrong with
the-
the mushrooms.
Is the lava like is it blocking your path or is it just around us?
It is blocking your path.
Like how big of a gap is it?
It looks to be about a 30-foot gap. There's a piece of broken like bronze in the middle of the lava flow that's slowly but surely like flowing away. So you think maybe there was a bridge here?
All right. Any ideas how we're getting across this?
Well, I do have rope.
Rope is certainly helpful in lava. That is very, very for sure. Once again,
And
that was sarcasm.
I am fire resistant as a Gnazi.
Resistance, yes. It's not
Well.
immunity.
Just thinking.
Looking around, is there any other signs of this bridge or any other potential bridge or anything we might be able to use as a bridge?
Roll perception.
15.
As you look around, your eyes catch some stalagmites across the way.
Mites or mites. So those would be
On the ground.
on the ground.
Yep.
I point over to the stalagmites. We might be able to use those to get over.
No, I'm not good at jumping.
I mean, it's either that or you're jumping 30 feet across.
Yeah, point.
Well, we could always try to throw a rope across.
That's right. Become
And-
the Russian I knew you were.
Nah.
Yes.
Darn it, dang it!
Embrace your inner Russian.
Here, we don't do stalactites. These
Yes,
stalactites
Boris.
do you.
Yes.
Since the spelunking adventure, how long has it been that we've been traveling?
Since the beginning, or since you first went in the cave?
Since the rope adventure, almost spike undead situation.
Oh, okay.
Spike.
You spent about an hour in the cave, and it's been probably about 5 or 6 hours since you entered the Deadlands.
Cool. Yeah. So enhanceability is long gone. That's what I was referring to.
It's long gone.
Long gone.
Well, here's my thinking. If one of us who is particularly good at jumping and being nimble and stuff can cross those stalagmites and then use one of the ropes to give us something to cross with that's above the lava that doesn't result in it burning.
I definitely would volunteer for such thing.
Yeah,
was
you
gonna
see,
say-
Excellent.
you see
Excellent.
Me, you see me noticeably standing away from the lava as well.
Oh,
Can't take the heat, huh?
heat isn't your thing.
Lava isn't my thing, no.
Hmm?
Yeah.
We
It ain't
we
it
have
ain't
that
much
in
of our
common.
things.
Now, yeah, we may be fire resistant, but this is a little too hot for us.
So you want me to say what?
So you see those rocks that are jutting out of the lava that's
do.
kind of making a little bit of a leapfrog sort of thing.
Yes.
I want you to take a rope, hop across them, and get to the other side. And then that way the rest of us can use the rope to get across a lot easier so that we can continue to do our job and get the heck out of here.
Okay. I will make do. The first TPK I've ever had. Live on stream. About to happen.
Alright.
I'll start loading up Natasha too.
Okie dokie.
So what would you like me to roll to make my way over?
Okay, so just tell me exactly what all you want to do.
Oh, the accent
We
came
are
out there.
jumping.
Sorry, I had to call it out.
Tell me exactly what you want to do. What is it?
I feel like he should say it again. Because I know that there's a way to get across by, you said jumping and using the rope.
Basically what Grand Rock is suggesting is that Natasha parkour off the stalagmites while holding a rope while we've got the other end of the rope on the other side of the lava flow to get over to the other side and then tie that rope off so that we have a kind of a safety line to get across ourselves.
I mean, how hard could
that sounds like a good
possibly
idea.
be? Oh, shut up! You're not going.
Of
course.
I
it sounds
mean,
good
there
to
ain't
know.
nothing stopping you from going, Piper. It also kind of increases our odds because at least one of you should probably get across.
Hey,
Wow.
Hey, it's a sibling rivalry thing, okay? We do this all the
feel
time.
like a sacrificial lamb.
My favorite
Let's
guy.
do it.
I
So
can tell y'all really love it.
parkour, is that like acrobatics?
It would be like acrobatics, yeah.
Would be.
Like I do good. I do good. I do good. Do bad. I do bad. I do bad.
Oh no!
Oh wow! Oh man.
And so like I have a little bit of a boost. So would it like a 12 help?
Not horrible.
It's like
Begging.
Like
you
a
don't
12?
know. Shut up.
I'm just saying, 12 is not bad.
I'm
It's better than
intending
average.
parkour.
It's a strong 12.
Would
It's a
anybody
strong 12.
be like giving you guidance or anything?
I feel like I need to be
I
guided.
felt like she was very far away, but I could
Guided.
definitely do that if we're going to do that.
Roll a
That would
d4.
help you.
Roll that d4.
well,
Oh
Weldor will remember this.
my god. A 2.
That's a 14.
So 14. So here's what happens.
Maybe like if Piper gets boost. Oh,
So
you
you
push.
Yeah, I'll
Push,
push.
push, push.
you're able to
Babushka.
kind of like get up onto this large stalagmite and make it to the top, and you kind of perch, and then you like up and try to flip off of the wall, but you're just short, and you flippy, lava, lava, lava.
Oh no! Lava.
Oh.
like
You were
lava,
just-
lava in the lava.
Like you land in the lava.
Oh no!
Oh god! I know how much damage that does too. It is
It's a
horrible.
lot.
Just short.
We need to go get. We need to pull up. Now, see, now I have Russian accent.
We need to
Panicking!
get this
Everyone
steady.
be Russian, yes.
Panicking in Russian.
So you land like just short. You're able to like grab the other side, but you do land in the lava.
No,
Ouch!
Wait, here we
it
go.
look horrible.
It's a lot.
Oh hey, that wasn't bad.
Well, it's like 20 damage, of course.
Yeah, it's fine.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
so you have resistance to fire, so that's helpful.
Yeah, that's
Um,
good.
So you're gonna take 10 fire damage. That's with your resistance accounted for.
Is
Okay.
there more pain coming?
Potentially depends on.
I'm
what happens.
alive.
Well, I mean, if you stay in the lava, then yes, there'll be a lot of pain.
You should probably climb up and leave the lava now.
this Yeah, lava jacuzzi. I don't know what you guys are talking about. We'll just chill.
At first, the lava
Well,
feels
wait a
nice,
minute.
and then it doesn't feel
So
nice.
earlier, wait, I forgot. Earlier, I was ill and exhausted. Does that make it disadvantage?
Oh, that does put you at disadvantage.
Oh yeah, it
I
does.
don't know, like how long it lasts.
Oh no.
Till you
That's okay.
sleep.
I didn't account for it, so don't worry about it.
I feel
I'll
so
remember.
much better now. But I wanted to be honest.
No worries. Cool.
All right. What do you do now?
I would recommend climbing out of the lava.
Yeah.
You were pretty close.
I think she's at the she did make it to the other side. She just hasn't gotten onto solid footing. She's just at the banks, basically at the opposite banks from us right now.
I'll take care of you when I get over there. Assuming I can. Assuming I get over there. By the way, how exactly am I getting over there?
Oh no.
Are we doing the walk across type rope? Are we doing underneath drag thing?
I don't think most of us are dexterous enough to, walk across the rope. I just mostly wanted it to have something to hold on to as we're going across,
Mm-hmm.
I see. Right. Well,
So let's go ahead and try to cross. I attempt to cross.
Okay. How do you want to get across?
I'd like to, assuming that we've secured the rope, because that's what we said we were going to do. I want to try to hold on to the rope as I guess for lack of a better term, since crossing just with the rope seems like a bad idea. I just want to hold on to the rope as I'm leaping from the stalagmites to get to where we need to go.
Okay.
And how far is it from where we are to where she is, like feet wise?
So it's 30 feet across.
30 feet across.
Yeah.
So like, would I be able to, like, if I had a rope to try to like make it like, that we have like some extra, like, because we have like one rope, right? Yeah. So like if we did like a parallel rope on like the other side, and then we can kind of like have both. That way it's like, maybe a little safer. Like, would that be possible to throw?
You could try to lasso one of the stalagmites.
I think I could give it a whirl.
Okay. Natasha, are you tying off the other rope?
Yes.
Okay.
I feel
Roll
like
sleight of
that
hand
is
for me.
best. What do you want me to do?
All right, I'm sorry. Roll survival. Roll survival.
Survival. Not 20.
All right.
With a negative one.
Back down there.
I'm not sure how you did it, but you tied the best knot you've ever tied. You'd be like, I don't know if I could do that again, but it works.
It's all that adrenaline from almost dying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a whirl. Can I give myself guidance? Does that work that way? I don't know if that's true.
I think you can.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Sure.
Scene, what do you think?
Go ahead.
All right.
Let's say
I'm gonna do the
you're
thing.
asking for guidance.
Yeah, essentially, yes. Can I guide myself as I do the thing, which I
That's for guidance.
pray. Oh, that's actually not too bad. Is it like athletics check or
It would be. Let's do a straight dex.
Straight dex? Okay. In that case, it's a +0. So, but since I guided myself, that's an 18.
Awesome. Yep, you're able to successfully get that rope around it and pull it tight.
Almost 2 times.
All right. Well, I will follow his lead and use the rope to get to the stalagmite so that we can get across.
And I'll do the same thing.
So, are you guys trying to rope the stalagmites, or are you trying to cross on the ropes? Because you have 2 ropes now.
I would probably like go on the ropes. Now, are the ropes like taut enough to be able to, to walk on?
Right now, we've got I think Grand Rock is holding on to one rope, and
I would have
Weldor's holding
tied.
the
I
other
would have
one.
tied it. I would have tied it off to something on the
Okay.
on the side.
Okay, so it's kind of like a tightrope kind of a thing then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So definitely
was-
acrobatics roll.
Yeah, I was actually thinking of, because I suck at dex things, to like actually like even though it'll take forever to like crawl across, and like having the other one as like extra leverage, so kind of like hugging together almost, and then like shimmy across.
Okay.
Earlier, you mentioned the metal sheet, like kind of as a bridge. Would I be able to make an intelligence check to see which one is safer, either trying to use a bridge or trying to use the stalagmites?
Use. I want you to roll insight for me.
Insight, okay. Insight is wisdom. Okay, 17. No, wisdom is 18.
So you think that while the metal bridge portion is moving, it's sticking up out enough that you could probably use it. The only thing you're worried about is it's sinking, because you don't know how deep this lava flow is. So if you did use it, you'd have to be on it for a short amount of time. The liquid is thick enough that you might be able to stay on it for just long enough to get to the other side.
Right, what I would want to do is like run, and jump off the bridge and try to jump onto the other side.
You can try to do
Wow. That would be impressive if you make it. You got this.
Yeah, this would be Dex then.
that. Acrobatics, yeah.
Acrobatics, yeah. Okay, Dex.
And then Weldor roll athletics for me, and Piper roll acrobatics as well.
Okay.
All right.
Athletics for me as well.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, because I just had a thought or an epiphany. Hey, Grand Rock,
Yeah.
what if we do you think we have the ability to use? I lost my accent.
A little Russian side.
I know, right? Do you think we have the ability to use maybe one of those big shields? It's like we could like kind of surf. You think it would like float?
Hold on. I
Wait a minute.
before I start doing what I'm doing, I go ahead and head back and find one of those big shields. You said these shields are what? How tall?
They are roughly 15 feet tall.
Okay. I will grab one of those shields. If I need to roll something to pick it up, then sure.
Sure, you can roll strength. But
I would
before
try to
that,
help.
let's revolve Piper and Spike.
Sure.
Oh, I would try to help with that.
You go.
You and,
Sorry about the epiphany, everybody. It literally, I was like, wait a minute, the shields. What is happening? I was like, oh my god, there's like 60 of them. Why aren't we thinking about that?
so
Yes.
no more bridge.
Now that I'm
Yeah.
like practically
Piper, are you
charcoal.
doing the ropes?
Sure. Yeah, I'll do the ropes.
Sorry.
Okay. Roll acrobatics for me. real quick.
All right, acrobatics,
And the second roll
Oh.
goes.
and that is not a good roll.
Oh no.
That was a natural 3
Oh no.
with a +8.
Oh.
We're all in the other room.
You do the exact same thing. You get most of the way along on
It's a
these
twin
ropes, and then you still
Well,
like slip off and don't quite land that left hand grab as you're coming down on your front forward handspring.
right a little bit into lava.
Into the lava. Take 10
Oh.
fire damage.
How much?
10.
10.
That's with your reduction.
Ow.
This is
All right.
Okay.
All right, strength check
So-
for the shield.
That'll do. 21.
Okay. You kind of brace with it and like pull it up out of the dirt. As you do, the fire giant that was attached to it turns to dust and like floats
Yeah,
in more dust.
Yeah, that's fine. We're on a mission right now.
Are able to carry it overhead and boom, 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 truck it over to the.
Yeah, and then I will Now, just for the sake of completion, there isn't like a narrower part of this lava flow that's like 15 feet across as opposed to 30 feet across, right?
And no.
Didn't figure. I will attempt to set the shield down in the lava and see if it goes.
It does go because it is cooler than the lava is, but it doesn't immediately sink or melt.
All right, everybody get on.
Row your boat.
Yeah, we'll get on this. And since we have those ropes going across, I just plan on standing there and just kind of, yeah, exactly. Just ferry us across.
Kind of like surfing across.
Pretty much, that is what we are doing.
I'm running across the metal slab and jumping across. Or I rolled a 19.
Oh, you want to do that still? Okay. Yeah, I mean that'll get you across. You while they're doing this thing, watches you boink and go across and do your own thing, very much like Spike does.
Spike, I believe that is quite rude and showing off.
Especially after both of the rogues just fell.
Right. Perfect.
It's like, I got this, guys.
Yeah. No, the two heavier boys, myself and Weldor, will just ferry ourselves across with that shield.
No.
Okay.
We'll be by in a minute. Just give us a little bit. We'll be eventually.
Yeah.
With that strength check that you rolled earlier, it's obvious you're able to like just truck across.
Yeah. As soon as we get to the shore, I'll look at the two singed siblings and like put a hand on either one of them, and I'll use 20 points of my lay on hands, so each of you get that 10 back.
Ooh, thank you. Woo.
Yay! Not the only healer.
Not dead.
Yeah, seems that we have a paladin.
Now, to be fair, that's not. I don't have nearly as much healing as you do, but
That's true.
but still helps.
I figure this is a good use of it because I will probably be busy if we come to a fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
make perception checks.
Speaking of that.
Perception check.
Speaking of that.
12.
Nope.
Oh, I rolled a natural one.
No,
11.
3.
12.
Wow.
Nothing.
Yeah, this just still don't.
Nothing bad is happening to us.
I don't see it.
This is great.
I don't know.
Why are they so upset about this wall? I don't see anything. Nothing bad is happening.
So we will, without knowing what the heck's going on, we will continue our way towards the unlit city.
Oh yeah. All right. So the dim light from the mushrooms just gives you the like shimmeriness of all these buildings. You get like basic outlines, and at this point, I know some of you have dark vision. I think.
Let's see. I know humans don't have it.
Portals do not.
I think Fire
We have
Ganassi
dark
do.
vision. Yes.
Yeah, Fire Ganassi does
do.
have.
We
Yes,
do.
they do.
I will, as it gets darker and it gets harder to see, I will pull out my moon touch long sword, my great sword, which shines bright light and decent light within like 15 feet of us.
Okay, cool. As you're looking around, you see there are more fire giants that are standing all around. They're everywhere. You see them sitting on benches. You see them like mid-stride walking. You see you see them inside windows as you pass doors. Like it looks like you've come to a spot where the city's just been like frozen in time almost. It's strange. No one looks like they're in a defensive position or like they're afraid or anything.
But what of their skin color?
They all look gray. Yeah, and none of them are moving.
Oh boy. What happened?
That's a very good question. I'm Granar's feeling a little paranoid right now.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm wondering.
I'd like to take an active look around to see if I see or hear or smell anything that seems out of place and would alert me to danger, please.
I wonder if they
Okay.
ate their mushrooms.
Make a perception check.
Well,
Not sure that was it.
those are some rock and mushrooms.
It was the mushroom.
I feel like it's the only explanation.
That's better. That's an 18.
Yes.
All right. All right. You hear something.
Yay!
What do I hear, Sean? What do I hear?
So, out of this eerie silence, you're looking around. You see all these strange sights. You see this elaborate city. There's like a magma fountain that's like not flowing anymore. It's more just like sitting still and cooling. But as you're like peering at like a fire giant child, and you're looking at these details and like the things that they were wearing, you hear this metal scraping on stone noise.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Where's it coming from?
Sounds like
It's Freddy Krueger.
That's never good.
Just that.
One,
Freddy
two,
Krueger as a
Freddy's
giant?
coming for you.
We're never gonna make it if he's a giant. Krueger giant.
so yeah, the Krueger giant. Oh no! Yet another idea for another game.
Yeah, exactly.
You're welcome.
Okay, so you hear this noise. It sounds like metal on stone, and it sounds like a rolling noise.
Which direction is it coming from?
It's coming from, so as you entered the city, there was a large courtyard.
Mhm.
You have gone past the courtyard. It splits both right and left. You've gone to the right. It is ahead of you, probably 50, 60 feet up the street. And you hear it. It just sounds repeated. Almost rhythmic.
I grab my greatsword tighter and I start heading towards that direction.
And I will follow.
I will
Do you tell
follow
anyone
as
what
well.
you hear?
I say before I just run off. Something sounds like metal scraping on stone, and I don't like it much.
Mhm.
I think it's probably what caused this, or somehow. I then book.
Okay. Are you being stealthy in any way?
Yes.
Nope, because that has not gotten us anywhere.
That's fair.
As he's running off, I kind of grab Piper,
Mhm.
just in case there's a little something extra in my tea bag that I might have not been referred to earlier. And it's like this like small like it looks to be like it's like a vial, but it has like red like dust in it.
Yeah.
You and your sister are so inclined as to turn invisible.
Oh.
Well, scatter this around. It's a dust of what is that thing called? Dust of disappearance.
Very cool.
Nice. All right. I'm sure we'll make very good use out of this.
Mm.
All right.
And then I run off as well.
Okay.
Also not being stealthy.
All I can imagine is a turtle going.
That's yep.
Mhm.
All right.
I am going
Once
stealthy.
you get close, you are stealthing.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
And before everybody runs off, I made a perception check to see if there's any holes around, and I rolled a 19.
I love you.
you do see one hole. There's a trash pit.
And we all fall in it.
That's where we're headed, actually. The trash pit. It's a Sarlacc pit.
There's a trash pit. It's got lots of like refuse and like food and.
I make sure to point it out to everybody.
Thank you.
Good looking out, Spike. Good looking out.
All right. With your moon-touched greatsword as the only source of light, you start getting closer, and shortly after you start running, you see small motes of light moving back and forth, and they turn toward you. And there's
as
a
soon as
bright
they-
light shining on you now.
I stop in my tracks. Real tensed up now. Kind of got that whole anger look on my face, and like, whatever the hell you are, come out.
I can. Do we want light so we can see, or would that alert other people to us?
I think they already know we're here.
Yeah, I think we've made it
Yeah,
very
at this point.
Yeah.
Then I can cast dancing lights so we can see. If,
Okay. Do you cast them up ahead of you, or do you cast them like on you?
no, I'll say ahead of us.
Okay.
And I'll cast light so that we have kind of both of those angles kind of covered a little bit.
The whole area lights up like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, just in case, yeah, let's do that. We are going to go sprinkle, 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 and we are going to invisible this thing.
All right.
We're going to get in the room and there'll be no enemy. It's going to be just like a pendulum, and that's it.
Yeah.
All right. When you light up everything, well, here, let me get Piper and Natasha make stealth checks real fast.
Oh, yeah. By the way, roll 2d4 to see how long it lasts. Because you roll 2d4, that's how many minutes it lasts.
It is not 1, or I'm sorry, not 20 and plus 8.
See, what's 15? I'm trying to think. 15 plus 8. That's like really high.
23.
23. Mm-hmm. All right. And what was the roll for the
2d4? 2d4. Mm-hmm.
2d4. All right. That'd be 3 and a 4. That'd be
so 7 minutes.
7 minutes. So we'll see what happens.
Yep.
All right. So what you see whenever you light up this area is this brass contraption. It has a head. It's slightly humanoid. Has 2 arms, wheels at its base, and a conical head with a light on it. It's looking at you. Its 2 arms have large blades affixed to them. Mm-hmm. And it just kind of stands on its wheels still.
Did bark.
I look at this metal contraption. It's like not exactly what I was expecting today. Shake my head a little bit. It's like, the hell are you?
Sorry, it's about 10 feet tall.
This could be dangerous. It could come alive and attack us if we're not careful.
I fully suspect that to be about what happens in about 12 seconds.
12 seconds.
What? How far up is it from where we are?
At this point, it's close to you. It's like 20, 30 feet.
Cool. Because I figure we're all 3 of us are kind of clustered together.
Okay. Do you do anything else besides yell at it?
Not right this second.
I'm considering I'm considering some stuff. Man.
So what was making that sound?
You hear it making that noise as it rolls and then comes to a stop.
Okay.
Would I be able to tell like what would activate it to see if it would come alive or if it would start attacking us if we got too close to it or touched it? Like what exactly?
You can make an Arcana check.
Okay. 24.
Okay. You are aware that the giants were known to be very skilled artificers, and that they've made many contraptions. You're not quite sure what this one is for. Obviously, it's meant for some form of combat because it has blades on it, and it is probably pretty fast, but that's about all you know about it.
Okay. I recommend we stay away from this.
Okay.
If possible.
Is it like impeding our situation?
It is standing in your way at the moment, yeah.
Well, I mean, we do have a couple of invisible folks who could potentially sneak past it and see if there's anything on the other side.
We don't know where you are, though. or that you're invisible. Or that you're invisible. Or that you're invisible, which is hilarious. But it's okay.
Oh no.
I'm gonna go ahead and just proactively cast spiritual weapon above its head.
Okay. What does your spiritual weapon look like?
So you I'll just put it simply. It's Rafiki stick from Lion King. That's exactly what it looks like.
No, not this stick.
Just the stick.
I know the way. And I'm gonna hit it.
Okay. You cast your spiritual weapon above it. Go ahead and roll an attack.
Yeah. Okay. Not super awesome, but that's my spell attack, right? Let me go ahead and mark off this slot here. Well, that's an 18 to hit.
18 hit. Okay. It just hits.
Okay. 18 AC, good to know. Okay, so yeah, it like Simba, thwack. And
Stop that.
that's 8 points of radiant damage.
8 points of radiant.
Or sorry, it's
It's force.
force. Yep, force damage. Sorry.
So it bing, comes down and hits this metal thing in the head, and its head kind of cocks to the side as you hit it. It crack straightens back out and just brings its double blades out. And right as it does, you hear this strange noise, this hum. It just gets louder and louder, and it's like an engine revving.
I believe I have its attention now.
So we
it's
doing
coming
this
from
then?
all around you.
Oh no!
Wow.
I know what that sounds like. It sounds like a TPK to me, guys.
So
I
we're
think-
at like go ahead.
No,
I
so-
think,
Go ahead.
yeah, now that I'm hearing all of that around me, that desire for a fight has kind of left Grand Rock.
Oh no.
And I say to Weldor and Spike, because they're the only ones I could see, we were only told to figure out what happened, right?
That is true. I was just thinking that.
Mhm.
Send for reinforcements. Go back to the fortress and just tell them there's a big old machine there. They're all the things are dead.
The hum keeps increasing until it's a dull roar, and you can no longer hear each other.
We have
I point to Weldor, I point to Spike, I point to the way we came, and I start running that way.
Let's book it.
Yeah.
As you look
Jesus.
around you, in the parts that are not lit beyond your light, you
Lit.
see the blue fungus like brightly lit up,
Uh-oh.
and you see what look like blue fireworks just.
Oh no! It's worse than I can ever think.
Start going off.
Wow.
Oh no.
Weldor, roll perception.
Oh, no.
Sure.
TPK
Oh, that's
the
actually not
whole
too bad.
party for our first stream of Game Haven.
It would be, man. It would be,
Wow.
dude. It'd be worth it. You said perception, right? 23.
23. Your pack, which is full of that fungus, is now torn open, and there are arms and legs coming out of it.
Oh no!
Oh no.
I
My
imagine-
teeth!
I imagine I noticed this from my pack as well with the one mushroom that I
Yes.
took.
It's
Actually,
a very,
my
a
tea-
very
my
small,
tea is in a
very
separate thing.
small one.
I
Yeah.
took mushrooms as well.
Yeah.
I
You see it?
immediately
That is
I immediately
so
grabbed
gross.
that. I immediately grabbed that thing out of my pack, chuck it somewhere, and I
Yeah.
continue to leave.
Yeah, I panicked for a second because I started thinking about my team. Then I remember that I had a separate satchel, and so even though it has a lot of my adventuring gear in it, nope. God.
You drop
And
it.
I just had my spiritual weapon just kind of like.
Just floating along.
Yeah.
Long running for our lives.
Is it still too loud for us to hear each other?
It is
As we
still
run?
too loud for you to
Okay,
hear,
cool.
and you're actually
Cool.
hearing explosions going off as these
I'm
what
just
look
looking
like
at-
fireworks.
yeah,
as
I'm
these
just
You
looking
scorpions
at-
guys
circle
don't
around.
look at explosions, even if they call them.
It almost looks like blue sparks coming down into the air around you as these spores land, and you see all of the dead fire giants start blowing up. They start like exploding into
Sounds beautiful.
like yeah, it's really pretty.
Yeah. Before I die.
Happy 4th of July, everyone.
Everyone, I want you to you're able to like your path is pretty clear to get to the lava flow, and your shield and ropes are still there, but I'm going to need all of you to roll both a con and strength save.
Oh, no.
Okay.
A
Anybody
con
who's
and
within-
strength?
Anybody who's within 10 feet of me gets +3.
It's a
Yeah.
saving throw or no?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Both of
How do we know if we get +3 or not?
if you're close to him.
It would be us two definitely
Which
would.
you are.
But it won't
Okay.
matter.
Okay, so my con is 7, 8, 9, 10, that'd be 21, and the strength is oh my gosh, what is my strength? 16.
Con is a natural 20, so 25 for me.
Nice.
And
18.
strength save is a soft 20.
Nice.
Con is 18, and strength is 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in trouble.
I'm troubled.
So I failed both.
Oh no.
With my strength save was a 7, and my con
Uh-oh.
save was a 4.
Oh no.
All right.
So,
I failed the strength save, not the con save, I think.
So for my con, I have a 6. And, however,
Oh,
for
no.
strength, I have a nat 20 +2.
Okay. For those of you
Oh.
who saved on both, you are unaffected by the spores,
Oh, no.
and you are easily able to get across
No. I didn't
the
make it
lava
across.
river.
Can I help my sister at all?
For those that
No.
this is it.
It's a save.
For those
yeah.
that failed the con, but saved on the strength, you were able to get out, but you are incredibly ill. You feel terrible.
Just throw up all over everyone.
Is this like poison at all?
You're not sure, but you think you know what may have happened to the giants.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For those who
Oh no.
didn't save on
This is
either,
terrible.
you are lost into the lava.
Weldor,
Oh,
no!
So now
No,
you are
no.
the shield at which people will walk on in the future.
Wow, that's
Oh,
crazy.
So I
This is so
on the con save I saved, but not on the strength save.
Sorry, the save was 15. I didn't say that.
So yeah, I failed the strength save, but not the con save.
Okay. Who all was successful in the strength?
I
was
passed
successful
both.
in strength.
My strength was 15.
I have nat 20 in strength, but low con.
So did I just like start choking and like run into the lava? Like I'm trying to get like the visual.
I was saying
Like, how- like-
you can narrate. You can narrate.
Yeah, all right. I
feel
tell you
Very
what.
much like
that's
Terminator, but only with a
the least
tortoise
I could
hand.
give you.
It's
You go
Yeah.
down.
okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. Wow. This
Your
is
friends are able
this
to
is
help
my
you get out, Spike.
this is like give me a minute because like I have
Take your
I've not
time.
had I have not had a character death before.
Oh,
This
it's
is
your
so
first.
so
right
oh, so
here.
scene so
Honored.
scene. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. No. Play me off keyboard, cat. Okay.
Oh.
So Weldor is chucking along, not really regretting his decision initially, until the arms and legs and the fireworks and the things and just the war of escalation happens, and then like all of like his insides just kind of like boom. And as he's walking forward, he's just kind of like thinking about, oh man, I guess tea time came early with his god, and he just goes into the lava.
All the mushrooms are going da 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 da.
Wait, is it the wait? Okay, when you did it there, so I was like, it's the Imperial March. What are you talking about?
Bum, 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 bum. Spike.
It hurts and so good. It hurts so good. Okay, go ahead.
Because the majority of your party was able to get out, they would have been able to help you to get out.
Okay.
Farewell, Weldor.
And
I like you the best.
those of you who are left are outside the cave. Natasha is very ill, and you are greeted by the cold, dead lands on
Maybe
your way
he
back.
will become a bus raper.
As we're walking back, seeing that Natasha's ill, I'll spend 5 more points of my lay on hands to, if she's infused with a disease that gets rid of it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Now I'll be helping her, like the whole arm over the shoulder, like just we're gonna get you through, man. We're gonna get you through.
Yeah,
And
if it's a disease, then I'm immune.
And again, you say that out loud.
Yeah. Hey, if that was a disease, I'm immune to those.
Wow, that's great.
And that's where I'm gonna have to end it, folks. I'm gonna go. I've been called to the hospital.
Well done.
All right.
CA, if you wouldn't mind just helping everyone to do their outros,
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to.
Sure.
So
Okay.
but see, before you go, don't worry, I'll kill your character on Sunday.
That's called revenge.
Vengeance will be yours.
I love you guys. Thanks everybody.
Love you too, man.
Thanks, Sean.
Great game. Great game.
Stay
See ya.
safe, man.
Just
See
mute,
ya.
but leave your camera there, and then I'll exit you out later. Okay, so do the shift. All right, so let us start with Dak. Where can people find you?
You can find me on the Twitters under Daquine Game Army, and then you can also find me on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch under Daquine Gaming. Yes.
Ooh, and you have some streams on our channel too, Death Raiders.
Yes, every Monday I have a stream called Daquine Time where I play video games like a nerd, because I am a nerd. And and every other week I run Tomb of Annihilation here on this channel.
Very
Yeah.
Cool. And how long have you been doing that now? It's been a while.
A little over a year now. A little over a year.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's very fun.
Silent Chariot, where can people find you?
You can find me usually here. I stream a lot of games on this channel. At Silent Chariot on Twitch or Twitter. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay. And what about you, Truth?
You can find me usually hanging around here, and you can also follow me on Twitter at TheCyrusT. Yeah, it's been good to get back into the swing of things with a good old Thread Raiders event.
Oh yeah. Back.
Oh yeah.
And Duval.
Duval. So yeah. Yes, you guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Duval King Jabob. As I mentioned earlier, you can also find me on Sunday at noon Eastern time. My streaming gaming debut. So I'm really excited, and also really excited to maybe Coach Sean's character return the favor. So looking forward to it. Nice, awesome.
This was fun.
Yes. And what time is your game this weekend?
Noon on Sunday,
Okay.
Eastern time.
Very cool. And I am Chaotic Anarchy. You can find me here at Thread
She's
Raiders.
amazing.
And all the social media sites, but just don't forget the extra A if you want to find me. Although this particular event is not for fundraising, since so much is going on with COVID, we felt like this was not the best time to do that and give time for people to just hang out and enjoy each other's company while quarantined. We are helping out with Jasper's Game Day. We are
Hold
working
on,
stuff
I'm
the
still
back-
streaming.
We are back. We are helping on the back end get stuff up and running. We're going to be running some streams on the weekend. They are currently raising money for suicide prevention and suicide awareness. So their link is right below our Twitch channel there. If you see the image, you can click on it. It will take you to their donation page. There's a lot of rewards, a lot of people, such as like Die Hard Dice, Tabletop Loot, So Nerdware are all part of it. And for your donations, you get little rewards here and there too. So definitely take a look at that and see if it's something we'd like to do. Thank you so much for coming out today. We really appreciate it. We love all the support and the chat for being amazing. Thank you for all the subscriptions. All of our subscriptions go towards these events to help make them possible for the future. So we really can't thank you enough. So thank you so much. And we hang in there tight. And we are actually going to have a talk show at 8 p.m. And we're going to stream a video in between with So Midi and Philadelphia. They apparently have a game that they played. So I'm excited to see that. I haven't seen it yet.
Nice.
So. All right. So have a good night, everybody.